you make your living being funny.
When you ask me if I think I'm funny,
when you guys come into this show and try to be funny, then you're coming into my territory. So I'm going to judge your funniness on this show.
Because I
know you're funny watching a Philly game with your friends.
This show's not always about being funny.
Right. We're not in your territory. The purpose of this show is not to be funny round the clock.
Well, you're doing a bang-up job.
We discuss the wrap-up show, and once in a while we'll crack a joke because it just happens to be there. Whether you think that joke is funny or not, you're totally entitled to. But we're not coming.
I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the wrap-up show summary.
You make it sound like we're coming in here trying to be you, and we're not.
No, I don't think you're trying to be
me.
Wait,
can I say one thing that might frame the debate a little bit?
Is it about that cunt reporter?
Benji, if you say it again, I'm going to punch you in the fucking head.
Seriously.
Wait, what? You're not allowed to say...
No, stop.
I'm going to punch you in the fucking head. All right, stop.
No, why is that the worst thing that's been...
The thing that I want to say is
Are you retarded?
No,
Then just fucking listen.
I don't understand why that would get you so mad.
Well, because you're trying to be funny and you're not being funny.
Is that the part that's getting you mad?
Yes, the wrap-up show is not about being funny.
I mean, the thing I was going to say is...
Well, try saying it. See what happens.
If funny presents itself, did you hear Gary? Then you try to be funny.
Well, I guess what I wanted to point out is, like, if you're going to lie, obviously as a comedian, your premise is it can go anywhere from exaggeration to all-out lies for entertainment purpose. So if you're on the radio, I think it's akin to that on some level. So I guess the definition of a lie in terms of it affecting your friendship has to be defined as something that's hurtful to you or the show.
In your person. See, in other words, if you agree with what he just said, and I do, then assuming being offended by anything I say on the air has to go out the window, because something on the air could be anything. If I ever come to you in your office and say, Gary, listen, I'm not on heroin, man. I promise you. Did I ever say that to you, person? No. And then, because that I'd be a little more insulted by. When I'm on the radio, like Greg said, I'm trying to be entertaining. So for you to take anything I say on the air as gospel and to be offended by it is a little retarded.
So hold on. When you talk to us off the air during commercial breaks about your experiences at the shrink, should I know the difference? And you did. Howard said, you go to shrink? Oh, you mentioned whatever.
No, because I did go to the shrink a couple of times, and I talked about my experience.
Even that number, did you go 1.5 times?
I didn't make up stuff that didn't happen at the shrink. I went about 2 times, and I told Howard what my opinion was of it.
So you asked your shrink if it was okay for you to drink, or you told your shrink you were going to drink?
Yeah, that's the last time I went. I told him I had tequila, and then I.
So in your second visit, you told him?
Yeah. It came up pretty quick.
No, and I didn't say that to defend Artie. I'm saying
Thank you, Greg.
I'm saying it to point out that there may be things that you've said to Gary off the air, and it seems to me that in terms of anybody that you have a relationship with off the show, they can be angry about a lie that affected them in some way.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm unclear on how that affects what he says on the air, because certainly Howard may not have a small penis, and Dean Martin didn't really have a drink in his hand all those years. There's certain things.
Greg, I swear to God, I don't even know what you're talking about.
No,
I got lost. And
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. I'm stupid.
You have a problem with Artie lying, right? And it affects your friendship, correct?
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't
all
think
right. So what I'm saying, wait, hold on. Well, I'm just trying to clarify this so we understand it. So what I'm saying is a lie versus comedic license is something, and I'm not defending Artie, because if he did lie to you off the air, then that is wrong, and that's something that he has to address.
Artie not going to the shrink was no comedic license. It was just him lying.
No, what, we didn't laugh about that on the air? That didn't create an hour of
material? Did it create material? Yes. Did we laugh about it? No.
Yes, we did. Howard laughed about it. What he's saying is, if you're going to admit that sometimes while I'm on the air in that forum, I'm trying to be funny, you can't take anything I say as gospel. And to be offended by it is stupid. If I come to you off the air and say something to you that's a direct lie that really betrays you, then that's a different story. And that's never happened, and I've never done that to a friend, and I will never do that ever in my life.
Artie, what about when you called me and gave me a 20-minute speech about how you couldn't come to my wedding because you couldn't be around drugs and alcohol?
That's the truth.
No, because your shrink told you couldn't do it.
Listen,
and then you went there and said you didn't want to come because you didn't want to go because whatever.
Because I was trying to be funny, and I said I don't want
Artie,
to go.
that's the truth, and I don't care. You're not
wedding.
offending me. That's the truth, though.
Well, I didn't want to go because I didn't want to drink at dinner. Same reason I didn't go to Fred's party. I don't go to things where if I think I'm going to fall off the wagon.
But I think you were, at that point, you were still doing heroin.
Well, I wasn't. I was not. I was on the heroin wagon at that point. And how would you know anyway, man?
Because
exactly.
It's all speculation.
Because
shut up about it.
On the wrap-up show.
Don't talk about shit you don't know, because you're going to get in a bad area.
But on the wrap-up show, and again, I asked you 2 weeks ago, Artie, how long were you on heroin? You said off and on from the end of August till December.
Off and on.
Well, Will's wedding was in
What
September.
does off and on mean?
But how do we? I don't know, man. But it could have.
I said off and on. I didn't say constantly from August to
So
December.
the second you got off of heroin was just happened to be the week that Will was getting married.
it
Where
could
you
have
didn't want
been.
to drink.
It could have been. I got off heroin to go to Afghanistan.
Somebody said earlier, Artie, about ultimately Gary should be mad at Howard, not at you, because Howard is the one who lets you.
Howard runs the show. We all know that here. Okay, if Howard was mad at me, there'd be consequences for what I'm doing. He's not. So Gary should go to Howard and say, listen, Artie's been disrespecting the show, and I don't like that. And Howard then has to react to that.
You're right, and Howard doesn't react to it.
Okay, so what am I? What
But
do you want me to
it still
do?
doesn't
So
mean-
does that give you a license to basically do whatever you want to do?
Yeah, until Howard tells me not to.
The Greg Fitzsimmons school of he's talented enough to do what he wants.
I mean,
That's not what I said.
It's a sort of exactly what you said, Greg.
No, what I said was what Artie said is true. Look, there's a guy who makes personnel decisions here. There's no democracy. There's no real. There may be some input, but it's his decision. Do I think it's a good idea that Artie's in bad shape and he's still on the air? That's not for me to decide. I think that it's an issue that
But when you were here, you said, "Listen, you take what you get. Artie's a talent."
And why are you insulted by
Yes.
that guy?
No, you are a talent.
Okay, and
no,
you're
no,
not.
he said because you're a talent that you are held to a different standard,
And I
which
am.
is which you are. But then he went on to say,
I get paid more
you
than other
should be
people
able
here,
to
too.
do
Why do I
whatever.
get paid more
You
than
should be
people
able to
here?
do whatever you
No,
want.
no, that-
no,
that-
you should be
no.
able to do whatever
I'm
you.
pissed off that they don't make how much the same amount of
Wait,
money
you're
I
missing the
make.
point. I didn't finish the thought.
No, but you're
And
adding your own thought. I
I'm
didn't
not
add
adding
that.
it. You said it.
No, I did not say Artie should be able to do whatever he wants. You added that.
No, you
I
did.
ended
You-
at
you-
Artie has problems. He doesn't always come in on time. Howard doesn't have a problem with that. So apparently those are the standards for Artie.
You're
not set by you.
I've been late- I've
But
been
I
late
didn't
10
say-
times in
I
8
didn't
years,
say
by the
it
way.
was good. I didn't encourage it. I didn't say.
But it's not true because your exact example was that you worked on a show and that you came in late because you wrote jokes that got on. And you know what? It wasn't right, but fuck them.
No,
Well, guess
no,
what?
no,
If I'm
because
doing a
I didn't
monologue
say
every
fuck
day,
them.
I'm keeping the guy who writes the funny jokes, not the guy who's here on time who
No,
sucks.
Gary,
That's the world, man.
you're assigning a cause effect to that wasn't there. I didn't say fuck you, I'm coming in late and leaving early. I came in late because I was really unhappy, and when I was there, I worked really hard and I got a lot of
I
shit
think
on.
the exact word was like tough shit, I think.
No, that was not the exact words. I defy you to show me that on the tape.
See,
You're
Gary,
putting-
you're
putting your
offended by
impression
him
of this.
acting like a producer. You're offended by what he just said because you have animosity probably towards funny people because you want to be one. But clearly that's what's going
Artie,
on. You're offended by
There were a
him.
shitload of funny people before you got here, and they didn't offend me.
Yeah, oh yeah, Sam Kinison never offended you
No,
by
he
his
did
behavior.
not. No, he did not because he didn't work for me.
Right.
He did not. He never offended me
All
by his
right,
behavior.
okay.
But that's a dumb
Jackie never annoyed you?
No, because Jackie took the show seriously.
Oh, okay. Jackie, who fucking walked out on a contract. Pick your
That's a
fucking
different-
battles, man. Yeah, no, it's not a different story. That's not disrespecting the show.
Oh no, but I was offended by that.
Okay, so
I thought
what you just said was wrong. You said someone else did offend you in history of the show.
Yeah, he didn't do it on a daily basis.
Yeah, neither am I, Gar. I've offended you on a daily
No, that's
basis
wrong.
for
No,
8
you're
years.
wrong. You're wrong. It's not a daily basis. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
I'm right about
But it's
everything,
more.
apparently.
It's more. Whatever.
Garrett, listen, let me tell you something. If you're fucking Ellen DeGeneres or Jay Leno, and there's a guy that writes jokes that get laughs every fucking time, but he's always an hour late. Sometimes he falls asleep, blah, blah, blah. But there's another guy who's on time every day, who looks neat and never has a problem or a drink in his life, and everything sucks. Who are you keeping at hiring time?
I don't know because I've never been in that situation till
If you
now.
don't know, if you don't know the answer to that, Garrett, then you're a dumbass, stupid motherfucker.
Thank you.
You keep the guy who writes sucky jokes.
Wait, no, wait, don't name call because this is.
No,
I
let him name call. This
no,
is how he feels.
There's a disconnect between because you have been in that position. You have the man standing next to you is late a lot, and he works for you, and you haven't fired him. Why?
We threatened to fire him,
But you haven't fired him.
it was very close.
But
Benji
why
will
did
tell
you keep him?
We gave him one more chance.
But why? You wouldn't give that same chance to somebody
well,
else.
that's any job. That would be the fucking cashier.
That's
at
my
Stop.
point.
That's not true.
That's my point.
Well,
but
which
that's
one
not
am I
true.
listening
no,
to now?
because Benji writes funny stuff. That's why he's there.
Of course, because we like the work that he does.
Okay.
But he was getting to a point where his work was good, but not good enough to put up with what was going on, and it was close.
So let me get
and
this
Benji, no, Benji, just back me up. Was it close? Was that meeting?
No.
You were not afraid in that meeting?
No. Are you being honest? Yes.
Fire him, Gary.
He's
It's
not
not Gary's decision. It would be Howard's
Exactly.
decision.
That's the
Robert-
other point.
Robert
It's not
Smigel-
Gary's decision.
I
Robert
said it-
Smigel, who's like one of the greatest TV writers in history, now does occasionally TV Funhouse on SNL, which is like a 1 minute, 2 minute short film. He used to have to show up at 7 in the morning, stay till 4 in the morning. Now he's got the respect and the luxury. Now, I think the problem is he's not saying fuck you to Lorne Michaels. He's saying this is what I want to contribute. If you want it, that's fine. And
is he a full-time writer there, or did they just expect
he
him
was.
But is he now?
No, he gets to do what he wants because he's that good. And I'm not saying that Artie gets to do what he wants. What I'm saying is that is the criteria for Howard keeping him. In the same way that the criteria for you keeping Benji are that he's providing something that you guys need.
No, but,
and whether or not
Craig,
he does it late or early, it doesn't matter.
And
Craig,
honestly, listen, I don't get to do whatever I want because I'm not late all the time. I'm not absent all the time. We're focusing on stuff that's the minority of the time.
Yeah, but you're contradicting yourself, Artie. You do get to do what you want. You just said it. If Howard told you to stop doing this, you would stop. So you do get to do what you want.
No. You think if I came in late every single day of the fucking week, or if I was really out 2 days a week, Howard wouldn't eventually get rid of me? I mean, I don't get to do what I want. I don't want to be here every day at 6, but I get my ass here 98% of the time every day at 6. That's disrespecting the show. And when I get here, I'm always ready, and I'm funny, and I'm honest, and I tell stories that are embarrassing, but I think they're funny. I do what I got to do. I do my job. You know, I used to go to the Tuesday meeting all the time. I don't do it anymore. Howard doesn't give a fuck because it doesn't affect what I do on the air. I mean, you know, that's just how it is, man. I'm sorry if you feel like, I'm getting special privileges.
Nobody is knocking your ability on the air.
Exactly.
I don't think that's what's the question here. I think, Howard shows up for the beginning of the show and he leaves at the end of the show. He's the guy we all follow. Everybody else here does that. You, on occasion, haven't done that. And when Benji walks in 3 minutes late...
And Benji's not late all the time.
No, he's
either.
not. No, he's not.
And again, me and Benji are here over 90% of the time, on time, and we don't take days off 90% of the time.
And we don't do heroin.
You know, that's just how it is. You're making it sound, when you have these conversations, you're making it sound like I'm out half the fucking year. That's not the case, man.
I didn't say you were out half the year.
Yeah, but that's what it sounds like to someone who's listening. It sounds like, okay, we don't care if Artie's out all the time or if he's late all the time. That's what you say.
Well,
Sometimes you don't hear what you say.
Well,
because I'm a fucking dumbass.
Well, the other thing that you're up against...
You didn't. No, you're not a dumbass.
I'm a big old fucking dumbass.
You didn't answer that question honestly. You didn't. You would fire the guy who writes the shit jokes. You know you would. You didn't want to answer it because you don't want to agree with me on it. You would keep the fuck up who writes good shit because you got to go out there and say it. That's what makes the world go round. Babe Ruth fucked whores all night. He hit 3 home runs when he was hungover. That's why they didn't fire him on the Yankees. Matt Kelly did that a couple of times.
All right, look, you're not Babe Ruth, so fucking shut up.
I know, but I'm saying, but I'm using an analogy whatever. To hear, for some reason, Howard thinks I'm good enough not to fire based on what I'm doing.
But I think what we're coming from is, Gary, there's two levels that you are not happy with Artie's lying, Artie's work ethic, or whatever. One is personal, as a friend, and part of that is concern that as much as you guys are angry, I know you love Artie and you care about him, and that you're concerned
I don't know
about...
the funny thing is I'm not even sure that Artie knows that anymore.
No, he doesn't. Artie is not in a great place.
By the way, this is the first time you've ever said to me, and again, it's on the air, that you would truly think I've been disrespecting the show for the last 8 months. You never pulled me aside and said that. You said it now. I mean, you never pulled me aside and said that, Gar.
I don't know that it's my place. It's a feeling I have.
You're the producer of the show. Why would it be your place?
But you're right. At the end of the day, it's Howard's decision. So if I feel that way and he doesn't, then it's not my place to say it.
The point is just completely moot here, then, because
it is.
If you pull me aside and said, "All right, listen, I think you're disrespecting the show," that's what a friend does. You're saying it on the air now.
Would you change, or would you say, "Hey, Howard doesn't give a shit"?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I would try to get it together. I really would, out of respect for you. But if push came to shove, and I woke up hungover one day or whatever, because it's not Howard saying it, I might go to the phone and say I'm not in. But look, I'm enough of a fuck up to where I have lost jobs. I've made those decisions before. I'm very self-destructive. It's horrible. I wish I wasn't like that, but I am.
I think you guys are so different in your lives that, Gary, you take it personally that he's not doing this to be hostile. He's fucking miserable. I mean, I've known Artie a long time. I could say, we talked about it backstage. I said it on the air. I'm going through a bad time. I'm not happy. I look at Artie. He does not. You haven't seen happy to me in a long time.
I haven't been happy in 20 years.
So he's not getting off on coming in late and being a fuck up. And I think
I'm not
the part of you that's
party.
concerned about
work,
Artie, and we all are, is reacting to it. Quite honestly, almost like on intervention, when you see a family member, somebody who cares about someone with a disease, and they can't control it. But there's that guy. But then there's you as the boss on the job.
But at the end of the day, here's the thing that's really funny. I am not Artie's boss in any way, shape, or form. And Artie's called me that for years because at the end of the day, I can't fire Artie. I can't tell Artie what to do. I can't tell him where to be. It all comes from Howard. So I'm really not Artie's boss. I'm just a guy who produces the show, who can direct Artie. Hey, Artie, we're all going out to Vegas. Be there by this day.
And look,
I don't tell him what to do ever.
Here's the other thing.
Have I ever come to you and told you what to do?
Never, Gary. No,
because I don't have that power.
But in the beginning, you were the guy. The first guy, and I yearn for these times again because stuff has gotten so crazy in my life, professional and personal. But, the first couple of years I was on this show, when I first started doing the show, you were the guy who I talked to. You were the guy who called me and told me when I was going to be on. You were the guy I grew up listening to. I do have respect for you as a producer of the show. As years went by, you get familiar with something, and
it breeds contempt.
It breeds contempt, but I think contempt's a bad word here. I just think it breeds, for me, complacency, and I see how it operates now. Instead, I'm not just the fan or the comic who sits in every once in a while. I see how the place really operates, and I see, it really is all Howard's call. And look, there's been times in the past Howard sat me down and said, he did research. He found the shrink. He went out of his way to find the shrink for me, and that was 5 years ago. I still haven't called the shrink. So in a way, I'm not doing what Howard tells me to do either. Because
he didn't tell you what to do. He suggested.
Okay,
that's a big difference.
But still, when a guy like Howard, who you respect, suggests that, you might at least give the guy a call. I've never done that, and that's a little. He said he's been disrespected by that, but Greg brings up a point, and Will said this on the air too. He was mad at me, but you know what? He's 100% right. The bottom line is, I'm a miserable fuck. I'm miserable. I don't like being this miserable. I hate it. I'm not a happy guy. And there's people in my life that catch those effects from me not being happy personally. Women I've been involved with, especially, recently, and in my work life. I'm miserable. I don't like that that's true, but it's true.
What would make you happy, Artie?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. I don't know. If I knew, I'd do it.
You're a huge success comedically. I assume you're doing very well financially.
In one area of my life, I'm successful. I've lived out a lot of dreams in show business, and I have a lot of money. I do. Good money for me. But that's one piece of life's puzzle. All of the rest are a complete mess. It's a mess. It's it's just a... it's just a mess, man. What can I tell you? Health, drug addiction, depression, loneliness, everything, maybe overstress, overwork. It's just how it is,
Greg, the other thing at the core of this with Gary that I think you're missing is that Gary really, really cares about Artie on a personal level.
I just said he loves him. Through all this anger, it's because he loves him.
And
you know what? If you didn't like somebody as much as I like Artie, you couldn't piss me off the way you can.
Exactly.
Well,
why? And I feel the same way about you, pissing me off. Like, if someone said, like, the point I was trying to make before, if Ralph had said that on the air, I mean, that's Ralph being Ralph. I don't care. But yesterday, that fucking ate away at my stomach when I heard that. Fat joke, man.
No, I mean, look, I've been sober for 20 years, minus a year and a half.
Bullshit,
when I turned
that's
40.
a lie.
When I turned 40. And I look at Artie, and I can relate to that he's running away and he's hiding, whether it's drugs or whether it's food or whatever, and there's nothing left. You're worn out. And
that's for sure. I'm burnt out.
You're burnt out. And you're showing up to a show every day, and you're working most weekends. And to truly recover and get sober, you need time to go do that. And until you do, you're not going to feel anything good.
Listen, man, you know how fucked up it became? It has all become so fucked up. When I was 24 years old, driving a cab and parking it outside the comic strip to run in and ask a guy to watch it to do a 20-minute set, do you know how much I would have killed to do a roast on Comedy Central? You know what I mean?
Right.
And last year I blew it off. I blew off a roast. I was on a phone with a guy telling me he'd send me a private jet to go roast a guy who's a friend of mine. What happened, man? What happened to the guy who was 24 who wanted that so bad? I don't know what happened. It's so depressing to me.
Well, I know what happened.
And when I think about that, I get insanely depressed.
I think you got it. You got what you wanted. Are you beyond where you thought you'd be when you were the 24-year-old kid?
Everybody. I think Greg will attest to this. I mean, everybody. I think I wanted to be Jim Carrey by now.
Okay, but
of course. But look. If it ended tomorrow, I could put a spin on my career where, you know what, I made some noise and I'm very proud of it. I wouldn't be disappointed, but of course I thought I'd be like everybody else. I thought I'd be Adam Sandler or Jack Black or Jim Carrey or something. I thought I'd be a movie star.
Hey, Art, beyond yesterday, what Gary said, what Will said, has something else been going on the last couple of days? Because you do seem like, has it been like some sort of hell?
There is something that happened in my personal life, yeah, that was a really bad, shitty thing to hear.
You want to exploit it?
Right, of course, exactly. Do I want? You know what? No, part of me does want to say it out loud, but it's something it's really, even for me, a no.
Can I just ask this one question? Personal or professional?
Personal.
Okay.
Personal. So, because it would affect a couple other people. But really, and everything, no. But here's what I should have realized years ago is, every story I tell affects other people in my life. So, that hasn't been great that I've been so forthright, but, what are you going to do? The past is the past.
Well, I feel like, again, talking about addiction, you're stuck because once you become addicted to something, your self-esteem goes away, and your ability to step back and say there's someone beneath the money and the gigs and the success that underneath there, this sounds corny, but underneath there, you used to know that there was somebody that was worth fighting for. And right now, you feel empty, and so the only thing that's keeping you going is this stuff that's actually working against you.
It's funny. You talk about, what we used to be and stuff. I bring this up to Greg all the time. The first time I ever met Greg, I was probably like 27 or 28. And we both did a weekend at the old 𝗦𝗄𝗿𝗍 Rising Star, the one that was on West 28th Street off 8th Avenue.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this because my family was there. And the lineup was Greg, myself, Jim Gaffigan, and
Ray Romano.
And Ray Romano, right. So I had done a year on Mad TV, and Ray Romano was saying to me, what's it like being on a TV show? Do you like it? I said, well, no, I hate L.A. because he had just shot his pilot. The pilot got picked up. And I said, do you like it? He goes, I remember him saying this. We all made about $500 that weekend, right? Yeah. And Romano needed the $500 bucks, and by this time he was already 40 and had been on the, stand-up circuit for a while. And I remember I was like 28 and I said to him, do you still like this after all these years? Like, are you psyched? He goes, well, I'm psyched that I'm getting something that might get me off the road. And I said, what do you think of the show? And he goes, I hate the name. He goes, the name I want to throw up over, but they love it. And I said, who else is on the show? And he said, Peter Boyle. And I can remember the one, because I had such a bad experience in L.A. I was trying to say something to cheer him up. And I said, Peter Boyle, man, that's the best. I love Peter Boyle. He goes, yeah, he's funny. He goes, but I think I suck on it. And he thought he sucked on it. He thought the show sucked. He thought everything sucked.
Isn't that the nature of most comedians?
Yes, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, now he's a billionaire, and I think if you, and I think if you talk to him now, he still thinks a lot of things suck. But at least, he's got kids, he's got a wife, he can look at. I don't know. It's in our nature, maybe. I remember, Greg felt the same way. Jim Gaffigan thought everything sucked. We were back there miserable. We were talking about Dave Attell today. Dave Attell's a miserable
guy,
person.
but a great guy. I would tell the story. When Jackie worked on the show, I could tell you every excuse for the day of the year why Jackie would tell me why that weekend show was going to suck. Okay,
yeah, right.
Memorial Day, everybody's going to picnics, nobody's going out. I'm fighting Thanksgiving traffic. Kids are back at school.
March Madness.
Every weekend. I'm in Syracuse and there's a big game. And Jackie would come back every weekend and be sold out, but he would tell me in advance every weekend why nobody was coming to the show.
Yeah.
Well, because your self-esteem is over-invested in what you do for a living, and it's like literally the definition of a persona is a mask. It's a person you present to the public because inside you fucking hate that guy. And comedians become that as they get successful, they start internalizing this. When we talked about you lying on the show, well, are you projecting a character that's funny, or is this really you? And then when as a friend, Gary, you're seeing this projection, and then you're feeling somehow betrayed by him not really being that guy. But which is legitimate. I mean, if you care about somebody and they're telling you things that are ultimately, beneath your anger is your fear that Artie is something really bad will happen to him.
Of course.
More than the show.
Yeah, but, and another thing, think about how fucked up you'd be psychologically, because this is most comedians. Most comedians like to pretend they hate everybody. They don't like anything. But inside, you crave people's fucking acceptance more than anything. But why else would you get up there and do what you do? But on the outside, you're portraying and putting off, like, I hate this, but you could look at a guy in an audience and say, I hate that motherfucker, but you want him to laugh at you so much, and that creates such a conflict in your head. You don't know what the fuck you like anymore. And that and the stress of traveling and everything, I mean, you become a miserable bastard. And I always said I remember talking to Romano and saying, God, I hope I'm not that negative when I'm 40. Well, now I'm 41, and I've had some success, and I would beat him in any negativity contest.
𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗱, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, now?
Hi, Ralph.
A lot of love in the room.
Yeah.
I just want to add to that. I lost my train of thought because now I'm just dying to hear what the thing Artie did a couple days ago that...
It's not something I did, Ralph. It was something it's news I got about something.
And
He's not going to deal with
He
it.
doesn't want to talk about it.
it sounded like he almost was going to talk about it. No?
I was.
Come on, Artie.
Honestly, no, I was never even close to
I
talking
won't.
about it.
I won't.
You know what, Ralph? I'll call you tonight, and you could tell Howard.
I think you guys are getting...
Every time Howard has a new shirt on, I think he knows something else about me because he saw Ralph the day before.
Tuesday morning's usually a good time to... No, I tipped them off to something. No, and getting back to that thing, I explained it on the air with you and Gary and Iraq that I was goofing around with Howard, and he went and said something on the air, and that was not true. What you know what I mean?
But you got in his head, Ralph. You did, and it affected
absolutely.
our friendship.
And I explained that on the wrap-up show to Gary, and I thought he sort of understood what I was saying, and you accepted that, Gary. I thought you understood that.
I may have understood it, but I can't get it out of my head, and
Okay,
I'm not even sure that I blame you for that.
I'm sorry about that, and but Artie, is it really so hard for you to fathom why people don't take you at your word when, why do people have to sit and sort out with what's true and what's not with you? What might be drug related, what might not, what you might be saying to protect somebody, it's not, and my point was when you were telling that story on the air, and I think what everybody said and made the point, and Will made this point too, and he's right, maybe Artie's just making up a story for the air because it sounds good.
All right. Well,
and who cares?
If that's really how you feel, then how could you judge my life on any level by stuff I say on the air? If it's all just bullshit and all just for comedy, then then you really would have to put that aside, which is hard to do. Put that aside as if it's a scripted sitcom or something, and then just base how you feel about me by everything I say to you off the air. That would be fantastic. But that doesn't happen on this show. It doesn't.
Right. You don't say that. You don't think there's a lot of gray area and confusion with what's real and what's not, just in general on the show?
Yes, there is, which is why. How could you? Again, I think there's a lot of gray with what goes on the show. So how could you make an opinion? How could you make a personal opinion based on anything?
I think the consensus is people aren't sure based on a lot of other things, like when you're speaking the truth and when you're not. And like even Greg says, there's, you're taking artistic license with a story maybe. Your job is to tell stories and to be interesting and funny on the air. And,
right.
If you didn't have that cup of pee in your closet, if you did or whatever, I just said it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's a funny story.
Right.
Well, I think that, this is the longest running reality show in history.
Well,
and the
supposed
cameras
reality
are never
show,
off.
that's the point.
No, but I watched American Idol last night, which I haven't seen in years, and these chicks are fighting and screaming and crying, and I thought, people don't act like that. This show raises the stakes. I think you've talked about it. There's times where you might be experiencing something, you might actually push the envelope just to see if it becomes a story on the radio. It spills over both directions.
And Howard, and I'm not judging him on any level for this because he's a showman before anything, but Howard encourages that behavior from all of us. When John used to come in and rat on people, Howard loved it. He's not going to get mad at John the way the guy was that we ratted on his. So, look, it's a great I think it's like a great human experiment here. And
Howard completely encourages all that. Sal running into the mall and making an announcement.
The best example of that was after you guys had this fight this morning. You saw that smile on Howard's face.
Of course, and he loved it. And he said he loves it. But on any other listen, Howard. The brilliance of what Howard did here is he's created a show where even rejected bits that he hates could become funny within the context of the show. Like if Sal pitched something comparable to the Nick Gersh thing at a meeting at the Tonight Show or at Saturday Night Live or wherever, they go, no, we're not doing this, and it would never see the light of day. Howard's created a situation where it can see the light of day by Howard goofing on it and all of us goofing on it. So Sal then goes in his head, look, I should do something like that again because it was just an hour of funny shit. And that's how he thinks. And when he has to make that judgment again, he's going to go for it because Howard, it's rare that Howard rejects something. Because Howard's going, look, this is all interesting. It might be interesting for the audience to hear why I rejected this. So I'll play it and get their opinion. And that's a rare thing. That doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, and you're completely right about there's a lot of misdirected anger that goes on around that show. And if you're Gary, if you're mad at Artie for disrespecting the show, that's on Howard, not on Artie.
That's my point.
Howard lets him do whatever Artie's going to do. What Artie's going to do. Well, Artie can attack people and get away with it.
And we all, thank you. Yeah. And we're all hypocrites on this level. Where if and I put myself in this category. If we're mad at somebody for something that Howard clearly does himself, we won't yell at Howard about it. We'll yell at the other person about it because that's it. I mean, that's just how it is. That was the point I was trying to make with me spilling the 𝗦𝗫𝗄𝗏 that, there's times where you've been mad that you're picking up Howard's toothpicks and shit. You could have easily said that to him, but you're not, because, we all do the same thing. And that misdirected anger, I think, creates a lot of frustration. And then when there's someone you feel it's all right to yell at that isn't Howard, you just go crazy, because we get nuts. I don't know.
I mean, it's almost like the banking crisis now where these CEOs are still taking $100 million bonuses. Meanwhile, they drove the company to the ground. And it's a little, not that you're driving this company to the ground. I mean, it's actually good entertainment.
Somebody is.
Let me check my stock price.
It ain't me.
By Gary's definition, and by anybody's definition, you're not, certainly there's not many jobs where you can admit to having drug use and whatever and keep your job.
Right. Let me give you an example of what I just said, that we're all hypocrites. And this was me yesterday. And I might get shit from Howard about this, but I'm just going to say it because it's a great example of what I was just saying, and I'm at fault with it. When he was saying, who do we have in, and he said, David Brenner.
Yes.
And Brenner's going, for years, David Brenner lied about his age, and we're all going, we all knew you were lying about your age. Gary's caps. Gary said, who told you I wear caps? Gary, everyone knows you wear caps. I felt like saying before Brenner came in, look, who didn't know Howard got a nose job? I mean, that's the most obvious nose job in the history. Jerry, look at his schnoz on some of those fucking Channel 9 shows. There's a hook in the fucking...
John Hein masturbates.
I mean, listen, as a fan, okay? As a fan, when I came in here and met Howard, I'm like, my God, that's a nose job. I mean,
wonderful nose job.
I can remember being at 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏 Plaza. I was 2 feet from the guy. His nose was extraordinary. You could have caught fish with the fucking thing. And and look, he's a guy who, like all of us, has some vanity. He got some money, and it's a great nose job. His nose, he looks like a 𝗪𝗪𝗃, for Christ's sake. But I felt like saying that, and I think that would have been funny to say, but I didn't have the balls to say it. I thought he'd get mad at me, and I didn't say it there, but I said it here, and we'll play it Monday.
And Garrett, based on what Artie just said, when you guys think Artie lies about the drugs, and then you extrapolate it to Artie lies about everything, when Howard kept that
No,
that's not what we said, or Gary said.
This is what happens, Benji. That's not what anybody said.
Yeah.
Nobody said Artie lies about everything. They said we're not sure what to believe, which is a huge difference.
You said You said yesterday Artie has no credibility.
No, but no. What happened was
low credibility.
This is a situation where Gary might have not realized. We just replayed it, and Gary said that exact thing.
I did, and it's not what I meant. What I meant was I didn't mean that Artie lies about everything,
and that's what I meant.
But what I do mean is that everything that Artie says could be questioned.
Right.
But
which is
what I just said, when Artie was brought
it.
up about the nose thing, Howard lied about that for years. Does that make you question everything he said?
I know. You know what? That's an excellent point. Howard told us all, I've never had plastic surgery.
This goes back to your example.
And Robin was the best, because when the revelations came out, she was like, your revelation is not that you had a fucking nose. Because she knew. Of course she knew.
It's not just one lie. If Howard lied about the nose job, and that was the end of it, that's one thing. If you then ask
think he lied
Howard,
about anything else?
Howard, did you get your face pulled back? And he said no repeatedly for 3 months. And then he comes out, you know what, I did get my face pulled back.
He said no repeatedly for 7 years.
About what?
His plastic surgery.
What nose job? That's what we're talking about. I'm
Yeah,
talking
but
about
every time it came up, anything in that area.
Yeah,
I will never get married.
For 7
I
year-
will never get
Well, that wasn't a lie. That
wasn't a lie.
That's life. But for 7 years, he told a direct lie. Why? Because it would have affected him in a negative way. You know how many phone callers in the 4 years I was at regular radio called and said, you've had plastic surgery? And he went, no. That's a lie. That's a lie that's helping yourself.
Artie, when he got that, my mom saw him on TV. My mom calls me, goes, "Howard got a nose job." That like a week later, I go, "No, I don't know what you're talking about."
I'm glad he did. He looks. You know what? He looks good. Howard has a look now that he developed. But quite frankly, of course, I need work. I need a few chins taken off.
Well, now if there's a consensus then that there is artistic license on this show, and that everybody
Howard
lies
lying
to
about
some
his
degree.
nose job is not artistic license.
But I mean, look, Lucy.
That's a lie.
Lucy pretends to have a mustache so she can be in the show. It's comedy. People lie. It becomes funny.
Lucy didn't have a real mustache.
No. See, the thing is, she wanted to. No, the point is, then, Gary, you have to look at this. You look at your anger then and say, okay, what are the options for this anger then? It's not that, it's not that Artie is fucking up the show in your eyes. It's not that he's not working as hard as you, which leaves the options of. You care about him a lot, and you're so worried that you're actually getting angry because you can't control it, or you feel like it's bad for the radio show.
No, it's not bad for the radio.
So then it's that you care about.
Not bad for the radio.
You're conflicted about it. You're like, do I let this guy who I really think is falling apart keep doing this because it's good for the show, or do I personally go and say, look, you got to go to rehab, which may not be as entertaining, but personally helps him. So that's got to be something you battle in your head all the time.
I'll tell you right up front, and Howard will back me up on this. A year ago, if I were the one making the decision, I would have made you go to rehab. Right. And Howard has even said, when Howard says that I've had those conversations with him, they're not like, fuck Artie. They're like, I'm worried about Artie.
Garrett, I never thought they were like, fuck Artie.
No, but
I know that, man.
But
I know.
I've had probably a half a dozen times in the last year, I go, dude, I am really worried about Artie. I think he's in a bad fucking place, and maybe we should do something. Howard's like, do what? He comes to work when he's supposed to come to work. Why is it my place to tell him what to do?
And you've never been angry at Artie that he's missed work. I mean, you've been concerned about it, and we speculated on the show, but there's no anger like, oh, he's at work, and we're at work, and he's not. No,
I know what you're saying, but I know. But what he said before, he said that you feel I disrespected the show. That to me indicates a little hostility. And look, you should have it. I'm not saying you're wrong for that.
Ralph, hold on. Mark in North Carolina, you're on the wrap-up show. Mark, are you there?
Yes. Good morning, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning.
Hey, first off, everyone loves Artie. I love you, Artie. Big thing for me, two things I noticed from a fan's perspective. Number one, when Artie gets really mad with anybody, with Teddy, and today with Gary, he brought up the money situation. And when Artie really gets that boiling point before he throws something, it tends to be about money. And I think, obviously, when Artie first got on board, he didn't think he should make as much as Gary. But after all these years and all his success, there still seems to be something he pokes fun at with Gary. And I don't think it's a situation where he's going after Achilles' heel, like with the whole Afghanistan trip. I think there is some truth to that. And secondly, for Gary, my only thing with Artie missing time, I believe it's with Howard as well. It's on Howard, but why don't we have someone to fill in whenever he's out? And I'll listen to that. Thank you.
All right, thanks for your call, then.
Well, I'll answer the back end of it. I think that when Artie's out, I don't think Howard feels a need to fill the spot. I think it's just like when Artie's here, he's here, and when he's not, he's not. And it's also not like I have a guy who lives around the corner that I'll call when Artie says he's not coming in.
The show was #1 and the greatest show ever when I grew up, and no one talked but Howard and Robin 90% of the time. The show would be fine, but it's not my decision. You could have any, people could sit in there. And does that worry me? Yeah, it might worry me a little bit, but I don't think, you see, you got to realize if Howard's having some stranger in there, and I get what he's talking about, he's got to, he's going to feel the necessity to interview that person, to pay attention to them, to learn about them, and he doesn't want to do that. That takes away from the show. It's annoying, I would assume.
And Artie, do you always go to the money before throwing something? Was that caller right in speculating on that?
The one time that I've thrown something, or the two times, did I go to money right before I threw something at Sal? No. Well, he's 50-50.
But that was a weird shot you took at me this morning.
Yeah. Well, okay, look,
because then I don't. Here's the funny thing, Artie. I swear on the life of my children, I don't know how much money you make. I don't know.
But I know how much you make because of a mistake here.
But I don't know that you know that. I know you think you know.
Let's write down how much we make.
Yeah,
it's a mistake. How much Gary makes?
I make $50,000 less than you a year. So now you know.
But I don't know that. I know that you just said that.
I did the math because I know what you make.
And this isn't drug related, so you
can believe I make $50,000 less a year.
I genuinely don't know the answer.
Although I was on drugs looking at your chest. All right, I got to get out of here. I got to go see the bookie.
Well, I mean, the money thing always comes up. Like, I've been to therapy.
But it's not an
a few
issue for
times.
me, but apparently
I'm saying
if
for
I make
Artie,
more than Artie, then it shouldn't be.
If his identity is, like I said, so much in your career, that money represents everything you've given up. Happiness, personal life, relationships. So when it gets fucked with, it's a lightning rod.
Listen, I've said this before. If I couldn't make the money I make on the road, I might be bitching about money here. But you know what? The fact of the matter is, I choose to do the road a lot and take that schedule because honestly, out of respect for Howard, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy bitching about money.
Could you make the money on the road that you make if you weren't here?
No, absolutely not.
Or could you have gotten the book deal if you weren't here?
No
I
way.
mean, you could get the book deal.
Look, that's not what I just said. That's not what I just said.
But I'm saying that you make money here, but also
no way,
because
nothing.
You're here.
Listen. I think it's even worse than that. I'd be fucking driving a cab if it wasn't for this show again.
No, you wouldn't be driving a cab.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that the fact of the matter is, I do have to fly to St. Louis one weekend, and I do that because.
But define have to. Do you have to?
Garrett, okay, would you do what I do if it meant quadrupling your paycheck? Quadrupling your paycheck.
I would, but if I got to the point,
so that's what I mean.
If I got to the point where it was making me miserable, which it clearly does make you miserable,
I'd be miserable without it.
I might rethink it.
I might as well be miserable.
I
might as well be miserable in Phoenix.
I'll give you a perfect example. I could. Look at
that nose job.
Oh, no. He's got to get it.
Howard's outside the window right now looking at us. You know what it's like? It's like a kid with an ant farm and just watching his ants fighting.
All right. Artie, can I just say one thing?
He wasn't listening to this, was he?
No.
I'm going to deal with that Monday.
I'll
be fucking fired Monday.
If I wanted to, I could continue to do personal appearances and probably make more than I did when I was at K-Rock.
Yeah, but
I would rather
quadruple your fucking. No. I'm talking about, serious money. I mean, God, we're talking life-changing money. That's why I feel I have to.
Right, but the flip side of it is what's also changing your life is how much it fucking bothers you.
All right, but what if I know I'd be miserable anyway sitting at home?
Then you should just go and do the gig.
Well, that's the thing. That's the problem. I'm miserable. I can't fucking. Sirius owes me some money here. That's what I'm saying.
Do you feel any better after that conversation, Gary?
I feel physically exhausted, and I felt that way after this morning. It's physically exhausting, even though it's only words. I don't know. I mean, Artie and I came to sort of, I guess, an uneasy truce. But if Artie wasn't here, I would have come in and I would have said, is Artie dead to me? Well, of course not. I'm, going to deal with Artie all the time. But I don't know that we fully made up. Howard said we made up this morning. What I hope will happen is we'll just, try to start over again.
You looked like you were seriously. I know you looked like you were about to cry. Like
no, I wasn't about to cry. No.
About to kill you.
Well,
yeah, right.
Well, what's left unresolved to you? Like, in what way can you make this right?
I think that what we finally came to here is that we both agree to disagree. He says, not telling the truth because he's protecting himself. I should understand all the levels of it. I'm saying I shouldn't. We sort of come to that agreement now, and I now will look at things in a different way when we talk.
And you won't be calling him a liar on the wrap-up show again.
No, not unless he's here.
All right, we don't have a lot of time, so I want to get a couple calls in real quick. Tim in Pennsylvania, real quick. You're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, hey, guys. It seems to me, just listening to all this back and forth between Gary and Artie over the past month and whatever, that Gary just seems so jealous of the leniency that Artie gets because Gary's just been under Howard's boot for so long and he never got cut a break.
That's not true. I'm not jealous of the leniency. There's just the rules have always been the same for everyone here, more or less, until Artie, when it comes to the whole be at work, be on time thing.
Leonard in Texas, you're on the wrap-up show.
Well, good morning, guys.
Hey, Leonard.
I got an answer to Artie's riddle. So, Gary, the answer you should have given him when he was saying, who do you fire, the one that's a bad writer or the one that has bad attendance? The answer is you fire both based on performance issues, and you hire somebody that is a good writer and dependable. It's hard to do that with a word manipulator like Artie. That's an addict's trait. But that's the answer. You fire them both.
Yeah, it's not always that easy, and sometimes you do put up with bad behavior for a period of time if it's getting you what you need.
John in L.A., you've got the last call on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, I just want to say it was pretty shitty what Gary was warning Howard that Artie would turn on him. It just wasn't right for him to, say that, I think. Gary, you're just a big lip, giant tooth, smelly 8-man motherfucker, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
70 countries, and then we have the international version. So we have like Germany's Next Top Model, 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄 hosts that version.
Right.
If Canada's Next Top Model, Mr. J from America's Next Top Model hosts that one.
Do you hire all those people?
𝗦𝗵cie hosts the British one. No, I don't hire them. I sell the rights.
Right.
And then they hire whoever.
You
but
own the franchise. It's like a McDonald's. You sell it to them.
Yes.
They go out and they produce it.
I'm not
and good
gonna
luck to them.
Yeah, exactly. If I own McDonald's,
rules?
I'm not going to care who's managing it.
It's
Are there certain
fantastic.
rules they have to follow? Like
yes.
there's a template?
Yes,
or
if they
something?
use the brand, they have to follow a template.
Has anyone ever been on America's Top Model and actually gotten a modeling career out of it?
Oh, yeah, tons of girls. See, the difficult thing is in the modeling industry, you can be very successful. You can be on the cover of Chinese Elle and Greek Vogue, and nobody in America knows that.
Right.
You understand? The modeling industry is so spread so thinly across the entire globe.
There
It's
were
not
very
like a hit.
few like you who became an international star.
That's rare, and that's not necessarily going to happen anytime soon again, because the supermodel has now transitioned to reality stars and singers and actresses.
When you hit fame, did you start hanging around with Cindy Crawford?
No.
No, you don't have other model friends?
No, Rebecca Romijn and I were very close when we were modeling, super close as models.
Why are you no longer close?
I don't know.
It just
I'm
happens.
in New York. Yeah, that's
Do you
just
have
normal.
close friends?
I love Rebecca, though. Every time I see her, it's just
Do you
like
have a lot of
love.
close friends?
I do, but they're mostly from high school.
I see. Not the modeling chicks that
no,
you met along the way.
Mostly from high school.
I see.
You also started to transition into acting.
Yeah, I acted. I hate when people call me actress. I'm like, I don't deserve that title.
You were
I
in one
did
of
some acting.
My daughters were in love with that movie where you play like a Barbie doll that comes to
Yeah.
life. They love that movie. I must watch that 50 times.
Yeah, life size?
Life size. Where
Yeah.
I would sit there and watch that thing over and over again. Believe me, listen, no offense. I could have beaten off to the thing. They're watching it as an innocent. You know what I'm saying? You're parading around in different outfits. I like it. I'm watching it with the kids, but I'm seeing it on a whole different level. So I perverted the whole stupid movie.
That's disgusting.
It is disgusting. I'm so sorry I did that.
Will Smith's girlfriend for
On
a
Fresh
season
Prince
or
of Bel-Air,
two,
yeah,
Fresh Prince.
You never had sex with him?
No.
Not
He
with
never
Will
hit
Smith?
on you?
No, he never hit on me.
He insulted?
He was super.
Why? What do you mean he never hit on you?
No, he never hit on me. He was very like, I wouldn't say
that?
paternal because he's not that much older, but he was very like warm and.
How odd is that?
He didn't hit
Are
on
you
me.
kind of freaked out when a guy doesn't hit on you?
No.
Will Smith didn't hit on you?
No, he was married, Howard.
Oh, I think they swing those two.
Stop it.
Well, he wasn't with Jada then. He was with his first wife.
Oh, he definitely stepped out on her. Wow, how insulting.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, what is your dating history? Did you ever date any famous guys?
Yes, she did.
Who'd she date? Give me the list.
Well, I know John Singleton.
That's what, the director?
Yeah.
And why'd you break up with him? What's wrong with him?
Howard, I was 19.
You were 19.
Yes.
Did he ask you to marry him?
I don't know, Howard. No.
Have guys proposed to you?
Maybe. He hasn't. No.
Have guys proposed to you? Are you unlucky in love? Is that it?
Howard, not every woman wants to be married. If I wanted to be married, I'd be married.
Have you been proposed to?
Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't.
I'm thinking you haven't. Could you be a pain in the ass or something as a girlfriend?
No.
Are you sweet?
I look strange because I haven't been married, Howard. Do you understand? If I was
Are you
sitting
difficult
here,
to live with?
Howard, if I was sitting here and was divorced twice, you would be looking at me differently.
No, I'm
as if it
impressed
was
with
normal.
you. But a guy's not asking you to marry them. This John Singleton character, did he treat you good?
He was very sweet. Yes. Very nice.
But was he abusive or something?
No.
No?
Why would you say that?
I don't know, I'm trying to get to something.
I thought you knew something.
No, not at all.
Did he cheat on you?
I don't think so.
And he was a director, and
Yeah.
you were this hot model, and you're going out, and he's banging you, and you're having fun? Was he your first? Did he take your virginity? Has anyone ever broke your heart?
Howard, I've had my heart broken so hard that I've lost 20 pounds in like 3 weeks before.
You should be the heartbreaker.
I've done that too.
I can't believe.
Yeah, but I've been heartbroken.
Who would leave you?
Like hardcore. Like I had to like move into my mom's house for a little bit, and like she used to have to feed me with this one breakup.
Who broke your heart? 𝗦𝗵cie? Did you date
that?
𝗦𝗵cie of the Rangers?
The hockey
player?
Oh no, I didn't go out with him.
Yes, you did.
I went out with him, but not out with him.
What do you mean?
Like I went out with him in public, and I went to a dinner with like 10 people, and people
I see.
thought I
So there was
dated
no
him.
romance?
No.
You dated Seal. Wow.
Briefly. Will we stop this? What is this
Wow.
music?
Seal broke your heart. Aren't you glad you didn't marry Seal? I mean, he's only had 2 hits.
Oh, stop.
He's not that good.
I love this music.
You went out with Seal.
Howard.
What? Why is that bad? Why are you embarrassed by who you went out with?
Howard is so lovely.
He met Heidi through you?
I don't know.
Did he meet Heidi through you?
No.
He did
no,
not.
That was years later. It was brief.
Who
Howard,
broke
it was
your
brief.
heart? Who broke your heart?
It's been broken twice like crazy, where I had to do, they're not famous, chicken soup, mama feeding me. Like I wanted to run down the street naked in my nightgown. I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. I wanted to run down the street in my nightgown. Like anxiety, like, ah!
These aren't famous guys. These are just regular guys.
Just regular
What
guys.
are they? They're like regular working guys.
Regular working guys.
So you give a regular guy a chance.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I went on a blind date with a regular guy years and years and years ago.
What regular guy broke your heart? I mean, why wouldn't a regular guy want to marry you? That's what I can't figure out.
Because maybe I didn't want to marry them.
No, but you say they broke your heart.
Doesn't mean that marriage was in the picture.
But they broke up with you. Who would break up with you?
I've been broken up with, Howard.
Wow. Aren't you shocked by that? That like a regular guy is dating Tyra Banks?
Every woman has this
they don't
story.
understand, yeah.
There's no woman, I don't care how beautiful, how famous, how wealthy.
Wow.
They all have the same story.
Well, maybe they're not easy to get along with. That's what I'm driving at. Maybe there's something about
Are
you.
you
seem
saying
pleasant.
to me
I'm pretty.
And you're
But
interesting and bright.
Howard,
Yeah. I mean,
you're
she's a
saying,
home
like,
run.
Beth has never had a broken heart.
She hasn't.
Oh, she has.
No, she hasn't.
Absolutely,
Oh, no way.
she has.
I'm sure she has.
Please, look at her.
I'm
Who's
sure
going to
she
break
has.
up with her?
Plenty
Howard,
of
that's
guys
not
have
how it
broken up with
works.
her, and you know it.
No, they broke up with her after she had no inch. She treated him like they weren't. She didn't give him the time of day.
This is a fantasy you have in your head, but there's no woman who hasn't had her heart broken.
I agree, Robin.
And Tyra's not getting proposed to left and right. Come
I'm
on.
sure she has been. She probably didn't even notice half the approaches she gets.
I'm like, why are you on your knee? What are you doing? Come on, let's stand up.
Do you ever date white guys?
I have.
You have?
Yes.
Disappointing?
No. Good guys.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not opposed to a white guy here and there?
No.
But you have to marry a black guy.
You got to treat me right.
Right.
I don't care if you white, black.
Oh, I'll
Just
treat you
gotta be
right. Oh, believe me. You'd be treated like a princess. Trust me. What is that? A book?
That's my book.
All right. Tyra wrote a book.
Yeah.
Now, did you write it or someone else wrote it?
Howard, I wrote this book.
By yourself?
Not by myself. I have tons of people that have helped me. For instance, I wrote a section that deals with a professor, which I'll get into it in a second, or a teacher, and she's from what I call didgeridoo. And so she speaks with an Australian dialect. So I wrote the whole thing. Then I went to my friend's office that works at Harper's Bazaar, and I sat in her office for 2 hours and says, "Is this right? Is this right? Is this right?"
Right.
And
You
so,
have someone
you know
go
what I'm
over
saying?
with you.
So I had a lot of that.
Did you write this
book?
Did you write this with a type or with a computer?
Yes, with a computer.
Do you type?
Most of it in New York City. I type super fast with 2 fingers.
You're a two-finger type.
2 fingers. I spent tons and tons of time in the New York Public Library at Stephen Schwarzman Building, the real beautiful big library.
Yes.
Months and months in there, and all across the world.
Most people.
What is the book about? We don't even know what we're talking about.
The book is called Model Land, and Model Land is a fantastic modeling academy on the top of a mountain in a town called 𝗦𝗫𝗿𝗍, and they build the world's most amazing models, and 7 models graduate each year, and the world is obsessed with these people.
In other words, it's a school where they train women to be models.
There you go.
And they pick them out at birth, almost like what they do with chess players in Russia.
No, they don't. They get discovered on a certain day called the Day of Discovery.
I see.
And then they get shipped off to this school. But
is it like Harry Potter for models?
It's like America's Next Top Model with some magic. Sprinkle some Harry Potter, sprinkle some Hunger Games in there. I've heard Alice in Wonderland. I've heard Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from different critics.
Has the book been reviewed?
It has.
Did you get good reviews?
Oh my God, Howard! My first review was from Publishers Weekly, and it was amazing.
So is that a big rush for you, more so than the TV, more than the modeling?
I love creating like stories, right? So this girl 𝗪𝗍𝗄 was interesting. At the beginning of this interview, you were asking me about my modeling career and all the stuff that has happened to me. So I got discovered at 15 years old. 𝗪𝗍𝗄 gets discovered at 15 years old.
So it's a lot about you.
It's very similar. I mean, 𝗪𝗍𝗄 has one green eye. Look at that.
Does 𝗪𝗍𝗄 ever have anal in the book?
Oh, Howard, that was really awful.
Why? Why is that awful?
That's awful because she's 15.
No, well, eventually she gets older.
No, that's awful.
Oh, she stays 15 through the book?
Yes.
Well, then anal's out of the question. That is awful.
Yes.
Well, how do I know that? Are you still afraid of dolphins?
𝗪𝗍𝗄's never even kissed a boy.
Is 𝗪𝗍𝗄 afraid of dolphins?
𝗪𝗍𝗄 is afraid of dolphins, yes.
How are you afraid of dolphins? Does that freak you out? On your TV show, you were afraid of dolphins.
No, I am afraid of dolphins.
Well, how did you develop this fear, and when did you discover it?
And why try to get over it? Who cares? When are you going to encounter a dolphin?
Anyway?
No, I wanted to get over it because I used to have dreams that I was in a swimming pool and dolphins were like bumping into my legs.
And that freaked you out?
It freaked me out.
So on your TV show, you put yourself in a tank with dolphins?
Yeah, I went to SeaWorld, and please stop that sound.
Did it cure you?
I thought it did, and I went on my show, and like
You
know,
freaked
trying
out.
to, yeah, but then I started talking about it and I started crying on stage again. And then at SeaWorld, I was like, okay, I went through stage 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me like tread water with a dolphin, and the dolphin can do that tread water thing that they do, and I'll do it in front of them. And my guide said, I'm sorry, I can't allow you to do that because you're still a mess, and you could flail and like hurt the dolphin's eye or something. So I was a danger to the dolphin.
I've read reports that you're worth $160 million, and then I've read reports that you're worth $75 million. What are you worth exactly? Down to the dollar.
I would never in a million years tell you.
Oh, you are a multimillionaire,
I
though.
would never in a million years tell you.
You could probably just retire from America's Top Model, even if you never did a talk show or anything else, right?
I live very like frugally. I live underneath, you know, which I always tell people to do that so
Right,
that
so
you're
they
not
have
at
money.
mercy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I try to be conservative.
And so do you see yourself now, because it freaked me out when you walked away from a hit television show.
Yeah, I was going to say, why did you walk away from the talk show?
Why would you? I thought you were lining up to be like the next Oprah or something. This was the plan. We had a plan, and then you threw it all away.
Well, that wasn't my plan to be Oprah. You know,
Yes, it was.
so no, it wasn't.
I'm telling you that was your plan. You don't even know your own plan.
It was not my plan.
All right, what was the plan?
It was my plan. I'd still have a talk show. No, I honestly, a lot of it had to do with my well-being. I wasn't well. So doing America's Next Top
Physically
Model.
well?
Physically.
You were run down from doing the show?
Run down.
Is it a huge demand on your time to do a
Both.
show like that?
To do both it is. So you have, with a talk show, you have to do 100 and something a year. And it'd be different if I was just showing up, but I was the producer of that show, and so it was hard.
In other words, you can't just walk in and they give you the topics and then you do it.
No,
you have
I
to sit
cannot.
there and brainstorm and do things.
Everything from promos to budgets and to everything to guests and research and.
But when a show is successful like that, isn't it hard to finally pull the plug and say no? I mean, first of all, you were doing the show in L.A. You moved to New York. And then even the people moved with you to New York. And then supposedly they were upset with you because you canceled the show and they moved their lives and all that. Even all of that is a responsibility.
Yeah, it is a responsibility. I always have a responsibility. No matter what job and what production I do, that is a responsibility.
And to
but I
have
still have to think about the health. But at the same time, you have to understand that the television business was also not necessarily doing well because of the 2008, because of the recession.
Right.
So it also didn't necessarily make the most financial sense to continue as well.
So you were putting in a lot of hours. You said, hey, I'm doing very well financially. I don't need this aggravation of doing a daily talk show. And when you go to them and you say, I'm not going to do it anymore, do people try to talk you out of it?
No, it was a conversation that we had with the production company.
Right.
Because it's a business for them too. So they're looking at, advertising and dollars in the recession and everything. And so we just
Were they
decided
pissed
to
at you?
continue. No.
No one was mad?
No.
Do you miss it at all on any level?
No, not at all.
You don't?
No. I kind of do miss interviewing people every now and then. It feels weird to be on this side.
Right.
So I do like interviewing people. So
but you're not a fame junkie. You don't need that constant adrenaline rush of being out there.
I don't need that. I'm a creative junkie.
Right.
And I want to build my business. And I'm going to Harvard now, so I have like this
you're
obsession.
kidding. I didn't know that.
Oh.
I still can't figure this out. You go to Harvard for 3 weeks out of the year. How do you get to go to Harvard for 3 weeks out of the year? And then what degree do you end up with?
So it's like an executive business degree.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I graduate next year.
And you live in the dorm for 3 weeks?
Yep.
Do you have a roommate?
Nope. So we share a living room. We share a bathroom. I'm sorry, we don't share a bathroom.
There's a girl you share a living room and bathroom with?
Huh?
You share a living room and bathroom with another girl?
Not a bathroom, excuse me. We share a living room and like a dining room and a kitchen.
And then you walk in and, there's Tyra Banks is my roommate.
Yeah.
That's not freaky to somebody? That's not different? That's not sort of weird?
It probably was weird in the beginning, but during the second terms and stuff, it hasn't been weird. And it's more than 3 weeks a year. I mean,
and when you go to class, I imagine the boys at Harvard like what they see. I mean, I imagine it caused quite a stir.
I don't
right?
dress like this
What do you wear to
school.
class?
I wear jeans.
Would you ever wear a cheerleader outfit? Are you in the cheerleading team?
Yes, I wear a Harvard cheerleading outfit.
You would never wear a
Come on.
cheerleading outfit to class
Come
to show your
on.
professor?
You know what? I should do that.
Why not?
I should do that. Maybe they wouldn't cold call on me.
All right, so your life now, you gave up the talk show. You
Yeah.
said, is your health better now?
Much.
Right.
And I'm still super stressed. I mean, writing this book, Howard, I had a lot of stress. Like I broke out in this like crazy pimples. I had a little bit of alopecia. You know what that is? Like little hair loss. It was like the size of like a quarter on the side of my head because of the stress of this book.
Does your boyfriend start to look at you differently when you get the pimples and alopecia? And you go, hey, wait, I'm supposed to be with Tyra Banks. What the hell is this? I
What
got
is this
pimples
thing?
and fucking hair falling out of my head. I'm out of here. He didn't abandon you during that
Not
time?
at all.
I see.
Very supportive.
Does your boyfriend know your net worth? Did you ever discuss it with him? With John?
We're open.
You are open about it? You say,
Yeah.
listen, John, I'm worth $160 million. Shut the fuck up. You might be a banker, but I got all the bank I need. Do you ever say to him, look, this is what I'm worth? You sat him down?
No.
Do you know his net worth?
Howard, I'm not talking
Do you know your boyfriend's net worth?
I'm not talking about his finances.
Tell me if you know his net worth.
I'm the public figure. He's not.
Do you know? He's public.
No, he's
I
not.
see him with you. He's public around me. Do you know his net worth?
I'm not going to talk about that.
I got to tell you, Robin, if Tyra doesn't...
the way he talks about your guy, he loves him.
I know he loves him.
He loves him.
If it doesn't work out with Tyra
You're
and John...
setting me right up. That's what you've always
This is
said.
the guy you're waiting for. Successful.
He says to me one day, he goes, Robin, I met the guy
I heard that. I know.
that you should be with. And I'm like, who's this? Tyra's boyfriend.
Robin has right of
Robin,
first
are you
refusal.
single?
I am single.
Oh, my God. You want me to hook you up with somebody?
Absolutely.
What do you like?
What do I like?
You like chocolate, vanilla?
She likes
like
me.
everything.
Like
I
everything.
like a good person.
I'll tell you what she likes. She likes John. I know exactly what she likes. But this
Someone
John,
like John, apparently.
he's 6'5". He walks around straight.
He's 6'7".
He doesn't even hunch over like
At
me.
6'7", he doesn't.
He's 6'7".
Huh?
No, huh? You're totally in love with this guy.
I cannot believe I'm talking about him
What
this much
he
with you.
must-
You know, the only reason why I'm talking
won't you
about him
tell-
this
you know,
much
I
is
don't
because I've been
understand
into
that.
your house.
Yeah, but I don't understand celebrities being embarrassed about the relationship that they're in. I'm in a relationship. I crow about it. I go, I'm in love. I
no,
love
I'm
this
not
woman.
embarrassed. No, what it is so when you are dating a famous person,
Right.
I feel like it's a little bit more public.
Okay.
Not, it's public domain.
Right.
But, when you don't, it's up to me, it's a little bit more private.
Does a guy have to jump through hoops for you? In other words, when John started dating you, did he have to date you for a month before he could even kiss you? Or
I'm not going to talk about that.
Yes, you are.
No.
Oh, you're absolutely going to talk about it.
No, I'm not.
So did he have to wait like a month or a week to kiss you? And how long before he gets into your pants? I mean, I would imagine I'd have to work a girl like you forever.
This is so funny. This Howard in front of me is so different
I
than
know.
the
You
Howard
met
at his
this
house
guy
in the
at his
Hamptons
house,
that had to break
and
a bunch
you're
of
like,
screens.
I don't
This
want
is
to
the
talk
Howard.
to this guy.
This was the Howard that was in front of you, but I kept it under control. Now he's locked.
I feel
he's
like
unleashed.
now I am in a house full of white lacquer and black
That's right, and you
leopard.
need to make that sign.
Tyra Banks' novel, Model Land, is in stores tomorrow.
Yes.
And don't miss Tyra on America's Next Top Model, premiering this Wednesday night at 9 o'clock on the CW.
Totally. It's all stars.
Oh, so these
Does
are
Adrian
girls who are
Curry
coming
come back?
Adrian does not. No, we don't want winners to come back.
When you're running a show like that, it's a lot of headaches, too. Janice Dickinson proved to be a nightmare for you. True. I think she's nuts. I enjoy having her on the show because sometimes
she is a wild woman.
Yeah, but that was painful to you, right? I mean, you had to fire her.
No, there's no firing.
There isn't?
No.
There's
Doesn't she still sort of?
There's that seat is a supermodel, like a
rotating seat.
That seat was a what do you call it? A supermodel that had more experience than I did.
Right.
So no, there wasn't firing.
What was it? She was the first season, right?
She was about 4 seasons, and then we had Twiggy and we've had Paulina. So it took.
So you had her for 4 seasons, but she started to say terrible things about you in the press. She was biting the hand that feeds her. I mean, you were good to her. Did you ever sit there and pull the hair out of your head and go, what did I do to this woman? I mean, I gave her a job.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing is, one thing my mom told me, my mom said, no matter what people like that say, you have to remember 2 things: that you gave them an amazing opportunity, and another thing is you have to remember that they are older than you and they were there before you, and you should never disparage them, no matter what they say. So that's what my
That's
mom
the high road.
told.
But meanwhile, it causes you a lot of stress because she starts to...
No, it doesn't cause me a lot of stress.
No?
No, I still have to acknowledge the fact that I hired her. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And I knew who I was hiring.
Mhm.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And Top Model was very successful and had a very successful start.
So
And
you put up, she's the nitnick on the show, and it works.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew what I hired.
When is the last time you saw her or spoke to her?
I don't know, Howard.
Years. And if you saw her in the street, you would ignore her, wouldn't you?
would run.
You would run.
No, I probably
She'd be screaming and running after
laugh and say, "Girl, what's up with you?"
If you had a daughter, would you let her go into modeling?
I couldn't stop her, but I wouldn't encourage it.
Why?
I just think there's so many other different things to do. If it was something, if the modeling world was calling her,
Yeah.
then I couldn't stop her. If it was something that she was really just trying, and I didn't feel that, I felt like there was better things for her, then I would encourage her to do
When you do that Victoria's Secret stuff, and you're practically naked walking down the runway, you're so sort of prudish. I can't imagine you felt comfortable doing that.
I always had a cover up on the back.
Do you
Every
enjoy showing off your body? Is there a certain sexual thrill that comes out of it? I mean, a certain
No.
titillation that perhaps?
Not at all. I just liked working the runway.
Right.
Yeah, but I always covered up. I always had like a little something on
But
the
then
back.
the Sports Illustrated stuff.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
like doing that?
kind of out there.
Have you ever posed nude?
No.
You've never done a naked thing?
No.
Never shown a nipple in any pictures, even if it's an art picture?
No. Not consensually.
When I say this was
that might be something
out there, it was very sexy.
Yes.
You know, that was a side of you.
Sports Illustrated is very sexy.
Yeah.
I used to joke and say that I know how to act sexy for a photo, but it's not as natural in person for me. Or like, it's just not as natural for me.
Who's the most beautiful woman you ever saw?
Ever saw?
Modeling.
Christy Turlington's pretty amazing. Iman, it's pretty beautiful.
Beautiful. You friends with her?
Iman?
Yeah.
No, not friends, but she's like has like kind of a mentor type of thing.
You ever hang out with her and Bowie?
No.
Have you seen him? Is he fat? That's what we.
Is Bowie fat? Someone told me he will not leave his apartment because he's fat.
Oh,
that
come
was a rumor.
on.
I'm not
That's
kidding.
ridiculous.
No, I'm being serious. He won't tour or anything because he's fat.
That's ridiculous.
What do you know about that? You don't know anything about that.
Crazy ass rumors.
You lost a lot of weight, didn't you?
Not recently. Years ago, I did.
You look thin to me.
I do?
Yeah, you look good.
Oh, I don't. I think I've gained a little though.
If Janice Dickinson was drowning, would you throw water on her? Or would you help
Or
her
would you
out?
throw her a life preserver?
I'd do more than throw her a life preserver.
Are you a religious person?
I would definitely make sure she survived. Huh?
Are you religious?
No.
You weren't raised in the church?
Oh, I was raised in the church, but I don't necessarily go to church all the time. But John and I, we go to church a couple times a month.
You
He
believe
goes
in
to
God?
church all the time. I go to church a couple
You
times a
believe in
month.
God?
Of course.
What do you mean, of course?
I mean, yes.
You mean you're definite that there's a God up there?
I think so.
You think you're going to die and we're going to go to heaven? And we're all going to hang out?
I don't know if you're going to be up there.
I'm trying to
You know
find
what?
out.
The Howard in the Hamptons
Will
that
go.
answers, he'll go.
He's going to heaven.
He's going to heaven.
This
But what
one
do we do
today
with
is
this
not.
One is friggin' burning me.
What do we do with this one?
All right, let's go to a couple of callers. First of all, we're here to celebrate Tyra's novel, Model Land. It's in stores tomorrow. She's very excited about it. She wrote it herself. You know, yeah, okay, some people commented, but she wrote it.
She wrote it. Her idea.
Don't miss Tyra on America's Next Top Model. Premieres this Wednesday night at 9 o'clock on the CW. How many years has that been on?
A long time
This is cycle 17 that's starting. So cut that in half.
Tyra will be signing copies. Ooh, Tyra will be signing copies of her book Wednesday night at 7 o'clock at the Barnes & Noble on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. What are you going to wear to that?
Oh, something really saucy.
Oh, yeah? Whoa, why not? Let's hear it. What are you going to wear?
I don't know. I think I'm going to wear like some like pants. And,
Pants. Wear something like this. Shows off your curves.
I'm going to wear something that shows off curves, but it's going to be pants.
No, guys don't want to see pants.
Because I'm not doing just normal signings. I'm like doing these kind of like symposiums with people.
So wear
I don't
a
want to
dress.
just go hi, 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 hi. I'm talking on stage and it's interactive with the
Wear
audience.
this and wear those heels, and people will come.
How? And I'm going to be talking to young girls.
So what?
About
For
my
additional signing dates and locations, go to modellandbook.com. King of all blacks, you're on the air. Go ahead. Real quick for Tyra. We're running out of time. She's got an important life. Go ahead, King.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you, like, I love all women. I love black women. But what happens is when they get powerful and they get money, they get stubborn and they're kind of hard to get along with.
Is that right? I'm glad
Tyra,
you're telling us that.
Are you powerful and stubborn?
And hard to get along with.
I'm not hard to get along with, King of all blacks.
Well, that's like Beyonce, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell, like, Jay-Z said, like, she said, now you could get me pregnant, so he got her pregnant.
Oh,
She calls the shots in that relationship, right? Yeah, yeah.
I don't even think so.
King of all blacks, are you just intimidated by strength?
No. Yeah, well, I don't like a strong woman anyway. I like kind of weak.
He doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That sounds
He's a
like
weird
that's what
guy.
that's
He's
coming
into
from.
he gets married. You're a foot fetishist.
Oh God!
Yeah.
When you said she couldn't, when you said you wouldn't let Howard see your feet, I'm sitting in the suite, going, damn.
Jim, real quick, go ahead.
Tyra, do you use a vibrator or just your fingers when you
Tyra, do you ever use? Now you're giving him the cutoff sign. You don't believe in a vibrator? Robin uses a vibrator.
Here we go. What have I got to do with anything?
I thought that meant she uses her fingers.
Oh, stop it.
Let's go to. I don't know. Gary, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
Hey, I just want to say to Tyra, I'm probably one of the most straightest guys you'll ever meet, and my wife has got me hooked to America's Top Model. I don't know hide the hair of fashion, but I just like the challenges you guys do on the show, and I just think it's a great show. Now, a follow-up question is...
So a straight man can... That's not a question.
Man can like America's Next Top Model.
Exactly, and the straight men always say, my wife likes it, and I watch it with her.
I should be watching that show this season.
You should totally watch
I will
it this
watch
season.
it. I'm going to get into it.
I asked you to be a photographer this season, and you said no.
Well, yeah.
You're getting into photography. Do you want to do it this new season? We're about to start a new season.
No, I'm not that good.
I
Believe
can
me.
hold your hand through this.
You don't want me doing that. Trust me. I'm a pain in the ass. What is it, Gary?
She has to go soon.
Tyra has to go?
Yeah.
All right.
My follow-up question is, what kind of girl is she in the bedroom? I think she's a crazy, crazy girl.
Tyra's very conservative, I think. Tyra, answer the question.
I'm not answering that damn question.
All right, listen, Tyra. Oh, 𝗦𝗵cie 𝗄𝗿𝗱 wants to say hello.
Oh,
Let him
dear.
say it. Yes. Go ahead, 𝗦𝗵cie.
Hi, Tyra. How are you?
Hi, high-pitched Eric.
Listen, I love you very much, and I want to know, do you have a boyfriend? If not, I would love to go out with you. You're at the hottest.
Would you ever date a 𝗦𝗵cie Eric?
Aren't you lucky that you're already taken?
That's right. Is the dating scene the worst, though, Tyra? Seriously. Are you
Dating's-
glad you're in a relationship?
Yeah, dating's not fun.
It's not. Why is it not fun?
But you know what's not fun is wondering, is he going to call? Does he like me? Da-da-da. Does he really have a girlfriend? And he says he's not. He doesn't have a girl. It's just all that stuff is just awful.
It's more comfortable to be in a relationship,
I think
and
so.
you feel like someone has your back.
I
and
think
you feel,
so.
Right.
All
It's
that
true.
dating crap.
Yeah, I want Robin out of that dating scene. I really want her hooked up. I really need you to work on that because I'm not getting anywhere. I tried to set her up. She didn't want anything to do with it. Tyra's Model Land is in stores tomorrow. It's a big deal for her. She wrote a book. It's a very satisfying thing to write a
Yes,
book, I imagine.
and the book is, there's fantasy in here. The supermodels have superpowers.
Are you hoping to get this made into a movie? Is that what the plan is?
I've already been offered a movie when I was writing it, and I said no. I held off.
Why would you say no?
Because I didn't want to focus on writing and thinking about a movie. I didn't want some producer saying, make sure you add this, make sure you add this. I just wanted to tell the story.
I see.
Yeah.
So
And I
much
don't
for
think
cover-
you and Beth are boring. We will be calling you
yeah,
guys to have another
What did you think?
exciting
Did
dinner.
you think they dropped you?
You do think we dropped you?
Yeah, I thought we were dumped, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, but we get dumped by everyone.
You
Like,
really thought,
whenever-
how did it happen? What do you mean by that? I mean, what are you expecting?
People don't enjoy us as a couple, I don't think.
Well,
Oh,
what
no,
do you
we
think? That
did.
you
We enjoy you a lot.
You
You do?
invited
A lot,
them,
a lot.
and you had dinner, and you went out a couple of times, I
Yeah.
guess, or something.
Yeah, we went out again, too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then nothing?
Yeah, most people are like
but
that
you
with
never
us, though.
really invited us again.
Well, we've invited you a bunch of times. You haven't been around. You haven't been around.
I think you probably had like bigger parties and stuff. I tend to be a little antisocial. I
Yeah, and
prefer
that's
more
the other
intimate.
thing I hear. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
listen, she's got rules, and everybody's got rules. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You don't know the
I don't want
rules.
to offend anybody. You know what I mean? I don't know. We're just having some people over. Oh, Tara doesn't like
God, people.
She doesn't want people. She has rules.
Yeah.
But, no, we'll invite you again.
Yes.
No, but we've known other celebrity couples that dump us.
You've been dumped
Right,
by who?
you said that. Well, Rebecca, I think you think.
Rebecca
Dave
and
dumped
Jerry
you.
got rid of us. Even Kelly and Mark haven't been in touch with me in a long time. Yeah, we were pretty friendly with them. They even Mark married us,
you?
but I didn't hear from them all summer.
Oh dear.
I think Beth and I are just boring to hang around. People think I'd be a lot of fun.
You're expected to put on a bigger
Yeah.
show, I guess.
I'm incredibly dull. Really, people
No,
are
it was
just
really
boring.
nice. I think you're very nice.
Thank you. Listen. I think
Not
the
nice
world of
enough
you.
to see again.
Yeah, right. But anyway, Tyra, and say hello to John. for
I
me,
will. And you say
please.
hello to Beth.
Yes.
Darling.
Absolutely.
All right.
And
Say it again, Howard.
Yes, the book is Model Land. Pick it up and read Tyra. I will read it.
Will you?
Well, I've only read 2 books, but
Will you give it to your daughter?
sure. I'll
Your
give it to her.
youngest.
Yeah.
The one with the pretty pink bedroom. Can I say that? Or will
Yeah,
she be
sure.
pissed that I
No,
saw
she
her
won't.
bedroom?
Listen, now she's in college. She doesn't have a pink bedroom
Okay.
anymore. She redid that. That's when she
Okay.
was a little girl.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back right after these words.
You really think we dropped you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think that at all. In fact, I mean, no, not at all. Honestly.
That's not the case.
Oh my God, you are tall. I
Yeah,
don't
but I'm
even
not.
remember
She's
how
wearing
tall
20
I'm
you
not as
are.
tall as I am.
No problem.
It's the shoes.
Yeah, it's the
yeah.
shoes.
Look,
Shoes.
see you.
Look.
Oh my goodness, there you are. There you are. Hello. How are you? Good. You have a little something on your nose.
Do I? Oh, you know what that is? Is it, oh, wait, what is that?
It's a little white thing. I don't know. Maybe from the cup or
Well,
something.
I just got, oh, that's exactly
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
It's that thing.
Oh dear.
Oh, God.
I don't think it was there all the time.
Tyra,
It's good to see you.
you did a great job.
Thank you.
You were great. Good luck with the
Yeah.
book.
Oh, my God. It's
So you're only doing one signing?
No, that's, I don't know why they only had that one. I'm doing
Why didn't they give me the whole list?
I don't know.
Tell them to give me the list.
Yeah, will you do
Yeah,
it
sure.
for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why did they do that?
I was wondering if they did that just because that's the most recent one.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, the one
Maybe that's it.
coming up.
Yeah, but,
no, it'd be
are you
nice
doing
to
one in
do-
New York?
I'm doing New York, LA, Chicago,
They should have given me the
Dallas,
list.
Miami.
People are interested in that. You know.
Okay, so I'll have them do it right now, actually.
All right.
Okay.
Tyra, say hi to John.
I'm not professional.
Oh, you're not professional.
Nah, you see this is just for Howard's website.
Okay, Tyra. You've experienced on-air Howard. What do you think?
He was on air. There was moments of off air, but I think he just can't help himself.
Where he's trying to be that guy at the dinner party.
He's trying to be the guy at the dinner party, but on-air Howard just keeps socking him up the face. So unfortunately, dinner party Howard going to heaven. On-air Howard.
He's hellbound. So what happens at the next dinner party? Are you going to give him some...
At the next dinner party, I think I'll have it at my house, and I'll cook him a special recipe. Put things in there that, you know.
Will you match up Robin?
I'm going to try to find somebody for Robin. Just not sure about her taste. I need more information.
Okay.
Good luck with your book.
Bye.
Said in 2008 that he missed the camaraderie of snorting coke in the bathroom with his buddies, and like sometimes he'll even go and hang out in bathroom stalls because he just misses, I guess, that closeness. The whole Napster thing, we never got into him with that. They were like leading the lawsuit for musicians against Napster, and he says he never really imagined that backlash was going to be so strong to that. They resisted putting their catalog on iTunes in 2006. I'm always curious why that was. He says, you know, they almost broke up, but performing with the Rolling Stones brought them together because everybody else was out. He says he thinks James Hetfield is homophobic in 2001, and he thinks that means that's a sign you're not comfortable with your sexuality. Him and Kirk Hammett used to like tongue kiss on stage just to fuck with people. Hetfield also said in the same Playboy interview that he didn't think Lars was a great drummer, and he's also thrown Lars through drum kits several times. And then you see there's some great quotes there about groupies.
Right. Good morning, Lars.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
You know what? Doing fine, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks.
Thanks. Is there any hot water in my near future?
Absolutely.
All right.
Whatever you'd like.
Is that your department?
Yeah, not really, but I can make it happen.
Okay.
Come right this way.
All right.
So you excited for this interview?
Very. Very. Very.
You enjoy this Howard Stern character?
Yes, I've been here a couple times. I've never been in the new building. Look forward to it. Is this Scott Greenstein's office in here?
No.
Scott, how are you? Good morning. I'm glad you worked it out with everybody.
Lars is a member of one of the greatest bands that there ever was, called Metallica. Everyone knows it. What an incredible life. Beating all odds, becoming the man. Look at you, Lars. What'd you do? You cut your hair off? You shaved your head?
This hair's been cut off for a long time.
Not this short.
I think I was just trying to beat it to the punch. It's been...
You going bald?
Yes.
The short answer to that.
I don't know if bald is the right word, but it's been doing its best to fall out for the last couple of years.
Do you miss the hair?
Standing next to Rob yesterday, who still has hair down here, I was like, he's got enough to make up for all of us.
Lars, when you were a boy growing up, did it see, I mean, the thing that I like most about Metallica, aside from the music, is this story. It's glamorous in the sense that it was such a hard luck story. You grew up very poor, didn't you?
I grew up in a very bohemian situation in Denmark. I don't know if poor is the right word. You know, Denmark is a social democracy working.
Did your family ever expect you to be a success? I mean, when you were just a kid, I mean, I'm sure they used to look at you like, he's some little shit. And it seemed like all you guys kind of had a chip on your shoulder. I like that. I had the same chip.
I grew up poor in the friendship area. I was a bit of a loner, kind of alienated, and just enveloped myself in music.
Did you have friends in Denmark?
I had friends, yeah, but it was we weren't part of like the big gang. You know, we were sort of hovering on the edge, doing our thing, enveloping ourselves in music, and kind of.
How old were you when you knew you were going to be in music?
14, 15.
When did you start playing the drums?
a couple. My dad was a professional tennis player, so I grew up in the world of tennis and traveled around the tennis circuit all over the world.
Were you almost a professional tennis player?
I was, in my mind, I was almost a professional tennis player.
Is that what you wanted to do, to bond with your father?
I don't know if it was to bond with my father, but I wanted to. It was what I knew, so it was sort of what I wanted to do. And in Denmark, I was actually in the 12th and 14s. I was ranked in the top 10 in the country.
No kidding.
No kidding.
As a team or as an individual player?
As an individual player.
There's no team in tennis.
Well, you know, sometimes they have like doubles and things like that, and they have like group competitions where schools go, so it's collective points and that kind of thing. So you're saying as an individual player, you were ranked top 10
in the country.
In the country, in Denmark.
In Denmark, okay,
Right.
which is about, the size of the West Village.
But nevertheless, a pretty big accomplishment.
But it was also, you gotta understand, I come from a sort of a tennis dynasty family. My father was the best tennis player in Denmark. His brother was the second best tennis player in Denmark.
Is that how you got your father's love? I mean, was he a cold kind of guy? That, like, if you were a good tennis player, then he paid attention to you and his eyes would light up?
I think that if he was sitting here, he would find that to be quite exaggerated. I was pretty into doing it myself. It was what I knew.
And so your entire childhood was devoted to more toward tennis than to learning the drums.
Tennis was kind of my day job. Music was my passion, and it was the same thing with my father. My father loved music. There was a lot of music around the household when I was growing up. He actually, in his spare time from playing tennis, wrote about music for Danish newspapers.
Did your father ever say to you, listen, if you want to be a great tennis player, knock off the music passion and get passionate about tennis?
No.
No pressure that way?
No. But what happened was that when I finished school in Denmark when I was 16, I came to America to play tennis for a year at, 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗱?
Oh, sure, down in Florida.
That's the big tennis school.
Yeah, so the first year that 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗱's tennis academy in Sarasota, Florida, got off the ground, I was there, and I was the only kid out of the 50 kids that was there that didn't go to school because I'd finished school in Denmark. So I was there in the tennis academy, or the tennis prison, as I called it at the time.
Other guys talk about the 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗱 school. It's like, I'm thinking of, what's his name, who had the long hair? And Agassi. Was he there with you, those guys?
Agassi was not there yet. The first year I was there, there was a guy named Paul Annacone, who is now Federer's coach. There was a guy named Tom Fontana, Jimmy Arias, who became a fairly well-known player for
Did 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄𝗿𝗱 say to you, hey, kid, you've got some talent here, and I think you can go places? Or did he just basically say, listen, you're wasting your time, go be a drummer for Metallica? What did he say?
Nick said, jump on it. That was the main thing he said to me for years. He said, jump on it, kid, jump on it.
Jump on the ball.
Jump on the ball. So I would do my best to jump whenever Nick spent a lot, and I don't want to be disrespectful here, but Nick spent a lot of time. There was kind of a pecking order system. So over on court 1 was where all the, Jimmy Arias, all the star kids were. And I was lucky in the fact that obviously he was very respectful of my father, so I was up on maybe court 2 or 3.
But isn't that a good learning technique? In other words, he makes it so you want to be on court 1, so that it's humiliating in a way?
Absolutely. And he would sort of wander over to the lower courts occasionally, and then, he would come over, come on over, jump on it. Okay. Wow, this is what we paid $20,000 for.
In other words, when a guy says to you in tennis, jump on it, it's almost like a life coach, like, oh, go jump on it. But meanwhile, like, that's kind of a horseshit phrase. Like, I mean, teach me a better backhand, right? In other words, teach me something. Don't give me a pep talk. Jump on it. So you learned nothing over there. Did that discourage you from becoming a professional tennis player?
Yes.
Could you have made a pro career out of tennis, do you think?
No, what happened was that, like I said, in Denmark, I was, sort of ranked in my age groups and so on. When I came to America at that time, and then after Sarasota, we moved out to L.A. the following year, I didn't actually make it on the tennis team at the high school in Newport Beach.
Really?
I wasn't one of the 7 best tennis players.
In your high school?
In Corona del Mar High School. And that was a bit of a buzzkill.
Oh, boy. That's an eye-opener.
Why did you go to high school? You were in Denmark. You finished high school at 16, and then you moved to the States, and then you had to go back to high school?
Well, the idea was to come and play tennis for the last 2 years at Corona del Mar High School, where this guy, Roy Emerson, a famous Australian tennis player, his son, Anthony, was there. So he was the star player, and I was going to slide in and be number 2 underneath him. And that took a severe wrong turn one after the
What was wrong with your game?
Trials.
What was the problem that you couldn't become a great professional tennis player?
I didn't have the tenacity to do the 6-8 hours of all that shit every day. I was just tennis. Where I grew up, tennis was something that was about having fun, was a social element. You know, all the players down at the clubs, they would play, and then they would afterwards, they would drink beers and smoke cigarettes. It was kind of like a very social endeavor. In America at that time, in the wake of McEnroe and Connors and this whole thing, every middle-class parent in the United States sent their kids into these tennis factories to try to have the kids be their meal ticket, you know, out of middle class, you know.
So in a sense, you believe, your philosophy is that you had the natural talent. It's just that you didn't have this insane drive that middle class parents put into it. They all want the next McEnroe.
And I also got kind of turned off by the by that thing of 6 hours every day, just drills down the line, and
it's no longer fun.
It just became very I don't know, military. It was very hard edged. And growing up in Denmark, where everything's kind of la-di-da, you float along and very bohemian.
And you just play games.
I can't even picture you in the outfit, quite frankly. The sweater and the, you know what I mean?
had the silly little shorts on like everybody else in 1979 that were way too small at the time.
I see you wearing black with maybe a devil thing or something. I don't
remember those little shorts that were like that big?
Remember the little shorts.
Hard to get laid. It's a lot easier getting laid in Metallica than it is to being in tennis.
And when you see those pictures now, you're thinking, what the fuck? How did we get into those?
So while this is going on, simultaneously, you're getting into music. Did you ever think of becoming a guitar player or a...
Yeah, why the drums?
Well, music, at that time, actually, that year that I was at 𝗦𝗁𝗲's music, there was a 98 Rock in Tampa. Was what kept me alive. And that was a... Highway to Hell was just breaking. Judas Priest was just getting on the radio. And... it was like that's what kept me alive, and I knew there was an incident which obviously I can talk about on your show. Me and a couple of other kids got busted for smoking pot at 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄's there. And,
no wonder he had it with you. No wonder you were on court too.
You jumped on the wrong thing.
And,
what kind of boy are you?
So I had to. I mean, at that time, this was a place where there was like a lights out at 9 p.m. You couldn't leave the premises.
Right.
I'm 15, 16 years old, growing up in Denmark. I mean, I've got the run of the country. I've been going to concerts by myself since I was 10 or 11. I was totally. I mean, I was autonomous, living a normal life, and here I was stuck in this sort of
like a military school.
Exactly.
Yeah, they called it a prison.
Yeah, so I got up. We had to get up in front of the whole academy and talk about the evils of pot smoking.
And you were a shy guy, weren't you? Because you were antisocial, sort of. You're not the type that had a lot of friends.
It was not the easiest thing I had done at that time, but it was also
public speaking.
It was so foreign to me, the whole thing, that you could actually get reprimanded for these things. We'd been slightly dipping into the endeavors of, checking out some hash in Denmark and so on at the time. So the whole thing was kind of it was frightening that you would actually get, punished for
So
this.
what was so Lars, what was the speech that you gave to the 𝗦𝗁𝗲 tennis crew?
Did you say, to us now?
Did you explain to them that marijuana was very bad and that it could lead to terrible things?
I think you could help some people even now.
I mean, what a nightmare.
I have been bad. I've been disrespectful. I've been breaking the laws.
Is that what you said?
I don't remember. I think
how long was your speech?
I think somehow I just sort of smiled my way through it and said what they expected me to say. It was nudge, nudge, wink, wink. This is really bad.
Do you think some of the... Listen, every band has their animosity. I think you guys just happen to put it on film. But when bands, because it's so difficult to stay together for a long time, and you guys managed that, do you think James's problem with you is that James sees you as a guy who was privileged because you got to play tennis and you got to go to the 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄 tennis school? And his story is like, complete, loserville. No one expected anything from him. Maybe he's jealous of your upbringing.
When we first met in Newport Beach in the summer of 1981, I had never met anybody in my life who was that shy. I mean, this is a guy who could barely, say the word hello.
Right.
I certainly couldn't look you in the eye. And when my parents, who were very welcoming and embracive and, come in and sit down and have dinner, I mean, he couldn't deal with any of that stuff.
Antisocial.
And I, at that time, obviously didn't know, about Christian Science and all the stuff that he'd been dealing with for years and the loss of his mother and so on. But, we were just polar opposites, but we bonded over music, and we knew that we had that common dynamic music, but we were from two different planets.
Two different worlds.
Yeah, two different worlds. And it was, at that time...
and yet your passion is equally intense.
Oh, absolutely.
And the same,
really
you love the same kind of music.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what brought us together. But
right.
I think that initially he might have been a little jealous over the somewhat functioning family structure that I had going. I was the only guy in those circles that didn't hate my parents. I didn't rebel against my parents. I'd been, they were very abrasive. They would, serve us drinks, and I'd smoke pot with my parents.
You would smoke pot with your parents?
Don't say that.
Like, cool.
Isn't that weird? Was that a little weird?
No, because coming from where I came from in Denmark, it was not weird at all. But so the point is that
I bet you James was jealous of your relationship because he didn't have that. Exactly. He was antisocial. He can't even function sometimes. It's like maybe he was a little bit envious.
Yes, I think that's an understatement. Yeah.
So when you're a tennis guy, okay, and you're and you're doing this thing, when do you start to actually physically buy a drum set and start to play it?
In Denmark, I had been down on the ground in front of my grandma begging. I was maybe 10 or about 12.
12 years old.
It was like drums was supposed to be sort of my escape away from the discipline of tennis. So I started kind of playing when I was 12, 13.
Now a lot of parents will say to a kid when they ask for drums, "Screw you! I don't want to hear that racket in my head." I asked my parents if I could play drums, and my mother said point blank, "You will play the clarinet because those drums, I don't want to hear you pounding on those drums all day." I understand her point. I don't want to hear that either. It's mean, but that's the way life goes. You realize how different your life would have been if you had my mother? Do you think anything could have stopped you from playing the drums? I believe my mother held me back.
I was pretty driven. As literally in the space of a week, when I didn't make the tennis team at 𝗏𝗏 High School, I knew that music was my calling, and I just set all my sights on making that happen.
Is 12 years old too late to start playing drums in a sense? Don't kids have to start like when they're 5?
I was self-taught. I actually had to go back after we put our first record out. Before Ride the Lightning, I took drum lessons for about 6 months because there were some basic rudiments that I didn't even know.
You taught yourself drums?
Yeah, in the beginning, yes. Before the first couple of years of the band, I did it all myself, yeah.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, look at the success you are. And you mean you'd go downstairs, put on a record, and sit there and play along with the records?
Yes. Yeah.
Where would you do this? In your basement?
In my room.
In your room?
Yeah.
You had the drum set. You'd sit there and pound away to what records? Beatles records or something?
At that time, when I first got the drum kit, it was more Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, Thin Lizzy, that type of stuff.
Did anybody think of lessons for you? Did anyone? Your parents?
No.
They're so busy with that pot.
They were doing that whole tennis thing.
Tennis and pot. Tennis and pot. You will not play drums. So wait a second. We are smoking a pot now. So this is a thing where you decide, I want to be a drummer. You're 12 years old. You're playing these drums.
I decided I wanted to be a drummer after I didn't make the tennis team in 𝗏𝗏 High School.
That was the big decision.
That was the calling. When the whole tennis thing it deflated in front of my eyes in the space of a week, literally. Then I knew that music was going to be my calling, absolutely.
How does one get to be a really good drummer? Did you practice 6-7 hours a day?
I played, pretty much all day. Played along the records. I mean, I certainly would. The responsible side of me would say, if I could do it all over again, taking a year or two of real basic rudimentary lessons. You've heard the word paradiddle and doubles and
double drum.
Sitting and learning all that shit on a snare drum and all that type of stuff. That was the stuff that I had to go back and learn after 𝗏𝗏 came out.
Wow. And when James said to you, I guess this was when a low point in the band, he went in Playboy and said, "Lars is not a good drummer." Now this is the guy who is your everything. You are in a band together. Why did he attack you? And I'll ask you this question for one reason. This Keith Richards book makes me insane. Mick Jagger has been very good for Keith Richards and vice versa. Why would you write a book attacking Mick Jagger? Mick Jagger right now is off doing a solo thing because he got fucking fed up with this bullshit.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Why did Lars, why did James do that to you?
Well, you said it yourself. I mean, it was a low point. 2000, 2001 were, in the 30-year career of Metallica, those were the 2 dark years. There was a lot of shit going on that, he was dealing with a lot of his own demons, and you saw the movie, and it was just the low point.
But to attack your drum, I mean, you're a great drummer. Are you not a great drummer?
Rational,
it's
obviously.
Fine. I mean,
Lars, are you a great drummer or not? I believe you are.
Thank you. I'm a very intuitive, and I believe that I'm the best drummer in the world to play behind James Hetfield's guitar.
Goddamn right you are. I mean, those are complicated songs. It's not easy stuff.
So I'm not a particularly technical drummer. I'm not interested in being a particularly technical drummer. I'm more interested in feel and
Could you go in a studio session and sit there and play on a commercial or something like that? That would just never appeal to you, right?
No, it would not, no.
And you would never play with another band?
I've never played with another. The only band I've ever been in is Metallica.
Didn't it strike you? I know your bass player had to be kicked out of the band because he decided to do side projects. And in your mind, you say, listen, it's not like this band needs money, right? It's not like this band needs money.
I just have to say, that was between James and Jason, which was right around that low point. And I'll tell you, a great thing about in Metallica is that when there's something going on that does involve me, I stay the fuck out of it. I ran screaming in the other direction. It was like, yeah, there's something bad going on here that doesn't actually involve me. I'll just stand on the sidelines.
Is James unreasonable in that sense that, like, why can't Jason go do a solo project? But I understand James is saying, listen, we've got a great thing. You start doing solo projects. Either you're Metallica or you're a solo guy. Which is it? Choose your allegiance. Or is that too extreme in your opinion?
No, James was James's whole thing at that time was that he wanted that kind of loyalty, and he wanted that kind of dedication, and to stray from outside of Metallica was to show weakness. So his whole thing was kind of we ended up doing some therapy, as you're well aware of, and that whole thing was sort of like you suffocate people through love. But his whole thing was he loved Metallica so much, he loved Jason, he loved everything, that nobody was allowed to breathe outside of Metallica. And I think fair enough, from Jason's point, he was not involved in the creative side of Metallica. He had no voice in Metallica, so he needed a creative outlet somewhere. So since he couldn't do it in Metallica, he ended up going elsewhere, and then James wouldn't let him do that. And
Did you go to James and say, James, aren't you being a little rough on Jason?
I stood on the sidelines.
He said, "Not talking about
like
me
a
today."
Fucking pussy. No.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid of James?
No. At that time, I mean, like you were saying, just things were really fucked up in the band. It was a really rough year. We were very fractured.
Did Jason call you and say, Lars, can't you talk to him for me?
No.
You didn't?
No, that didn't happen.
What a career suicide, though. Here's Jason, who's in one of the most successful bands in the world. I would say to myself, you know what? Like, sure, I need a creative outlet. I'll sit home and jerk off. I'm not leaving this band. This is a great thing for me. I've got financial security. And let's face it, being in a cool rock band and getting laid and blowjobs and stuff is pretty fucking great. I'm not going to blow this thing. No. It's pretty cool.
It was. It definitely was a mind fuck for us because when you're in Metallica, you're a lifer. I mean, you're all the people that work for us. I mean, we have people that have been with us 25, 30 years.
It's like a gang.
Once you're in, you're in.
Right.
And you're not going anywhere. So Jason was the first guy that left, sort of voluntarily, and that definitely fucked with us. But I think in retrospect, fair play to him, and I actually respect him for doing what he believed was right. And I obviously did try to talk to him. I went out to his house one time when all this was going on and say, listen, I'm sort of caught in the middle of this whole thing. You do what you got to do. Either way, I respect you. And I think it was a huge decision, obviously, for somebody to walk out of this band, but what fair play to him.
Yeah, so James calls the shots in the band, though. I mean, if he makes that decision, that's it. I mean, he says, hey, the guy's out, and that's it.
No, actually, he left. No, James doesn't call the shots at that level. Jason left the band. I mean, Jason walked out of Metallica. He called a band meeting in about a month or two after this all went down. It was December of 2000, and said, got us all in the room and said, I don't want to do this anymore.
Are you guys calculated enough that you talk about your look? Now, I know you guys don't have a look.
What look?
No, wait a second. Yeah, but that's the point. If somebody's in Metallica and they show up wearing like a new leather jacket that's kind of like, hey, I'm trying to look tough, do you ever sit someone down and say, listen, maybe this doesn't look Metallica? Does anyone ever discuss that? Because you guys have an anti-look. You know what I mean? If you came out dressed up like, a boy band, everyone would say to you, stop. There has to be some sort of meeting of the minds on the look, the logos, the whole marketing of the band. True?
Listen, we're 30 years into this next month. There's been different periods and different expectations in that level. Certainly, this band in the last 10 years has been incredibly relaxed on all those types of fronts. I think in the 80s there was maybe a uniform. There was sort of something that was expected. It was the black T-shirt gang and the black leather jacket gang, and we were all kind of, you're at that time you live together, you travel together, you sleep together, you eat together, you fuck together, you drink, you do everything together. You're chained to each other all the time. So obviously you're never going to stray completely outside of that sort of gang mentality. So it wasn't until we started kind of having enough money to buy houses and those types of things in the late 80s. And all of a sudden, like, one guy moves over there and another guy's over there. And then all of a sudden it's a little bit like, ooh, I remember, like, the first time I went furniture shopping, there was a little bit like, okay, do I have to get all black furniture?
Well, yeah. I mean, you made a statement just a few minutes ago. You talk about, first of all, to me, in my mind, I imagine being in a band as being maybe the ultimate trip in life. A successful metal band that has a cool image. And, you say you do everything together in the beginning. That's, I watch shows like American Idol and things like that. The reason those kids aren't successful, I think, is because they don't go on the road with their truck and live in shitty conditions and play constantly 24 hours a day and live together. There's something to that, right? I mean, you became a better drummer practicing with the band over and over again.
But also, I think the key word in what you're saying is really the word band, is the gang. What happens is that you end up sort of all keeping each other in check.
Right.
So there's not a sort of a leader and a guy that tells everybody what to do. So if you have a true band, which this band has always been, there's always this thing of keeping each other in check, not wanting to fuck up and let the team down, always trying to look out for each other. And there's something incredibly, you feel very secure within that, but you don't want to sort of stray too far from that.
But when you go on the road during the lean years, and you had many lean years,
yes, we
and
did.
You guys could have easily broken up and said, look, this thing isn't working. We're never going to make a living, and we got to have a life. But you stuck with it, and you start to learn when you play these dinky clubs what people really like. And really where you have to go musically. Yeah, you have your integrity, but at the same point, you've got to know your audience.
Sure.
And how else do you know your audience unless you put in those, like Outliers, 10,000 hours of work?
I mean, the only thing, the thing that was a little bit different from us than a lot of we never, at that time when we started in LA in '81, there was the whole thing about playing covers. You would go into the clubs and play covers. You'd play your Van Halens and your REO Speedwagons.
Right, the clubs demanded that.
Yeah, exactly. And so the one thing that we never did was we never played those radio-friendly covers. So we started, I was 17 when I started Metallica.
Would you play your own music always?
We didn't play our own music in the first couple of months, but we played heavy metal songs that nobody in America knew. They were all like these underground bands from England and Europe.
Right.
So we got a set list together really quickly of 6 or 8 or 10 songs by bands like Diamond Head and Sweet Savage and all these, and we went up and played them. Now, we didn't say they were Metallica songs, but we didn't say they were somebody else's songs. We just went up and played them, so people thought.
But people don't realize what balls that takes, because when you have no money and you're out there and you've got to support a band.
We all had day jobs, though, at the time.
Yeah, but I'm saying, when you go to a club, the club owner says, hey, listen, asshole, I want you to play these covers. Don't give me any shit. You actually stuck to your guns. And I'll bet you there were times where clubs said, I don't want Metallica here because they're not playing the hits.
Yeah, no, it was rough the first year in L.A. because at that time, it was 82, the Rats and the Motley Crues and all that type of stuff was kind of spreading its thing through all the L.A. clubs. So we show up in our unwashed jeans and T-shirts and with our bullet belts and our, acne and the whole thing.
You guys were scary looking.
And they were just looking at us going like, what fucking hole did you crawl out from? And,
work on your image, boys.
Exactly. And then we go up and we play this, real rough, sort of European-sounding, thrashy, punky stuff. People were like,
were you ever
running for the exits?
Were you ever tempted to compromise? Did you guys ever sit and say, you know what, we could probably make a lot more money if we became, like Motley Crue?
No,
but they're 17-year-olds, Howard. They're not thinking about
No, it was actually the other way around. It fueled us. It actually gave us more, it fueled us.
You were angry, like, hey, fuck you, we're going to do it our way.
We had a lot of contrary energy the first couple of years,
But the reason I say that is because I see today, people are willing to bend and mold to whatever it is that you want them to, like American Idol. They'll go, you know what, guys, I think you should sing something this. Oh, okay, I'll change my whole image.
Because at that time, I mean, listen, we weren't, there wasn't this drive to make it. I worked at a gas station and I delivered.
Was that your day job?
Yes, I was a cashier at a gas station.
Why weren't you a tennis pro?
Because I'd been humiliated at Corona Del Mar High School for not being one of the 7 best fucking players there. So I walked away from that. I got myself a job at the Costa Mesa gas station being a cashier.
Right.
And then every night at 6 o'clock, I would drive up to Norwalk and meet up with Hetfield and Mustaine and the boys. And we would start drinking and we would start playing. And we had so much fun. So
Mustaine was mad at you because you didn't mention him at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. True?
He's been mad at me for years over many things that I may or may not have done, so it's difficult to keep up with that, but we're all good now. Thanks.
Lars, did you ever get laid as a cash register guy at the gas
I'm
station?
the guy at the gas
I mean,
station.
That would be something to really be proud of. It's easy when you're in Metallica.
I did not know.
You know what's funny with you guys? You made a statement before. When you're in a band, you even fuck together. That is true, right? I mean,
yes.
There were years where you guys. I mean, it's funny. I don't think of you guys as the traditional rock stars. You're sort of the anti-rock stars. But yet, you did indulge in the groupie thing and the drug thing a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of coke.
Yes. Well, I've been pretty honest about all this over the years. And
do you miss it?
No, I had a lot of fun.
Why did you stop doing coke?
Because of the day after. I would feel so bad the next day that it wasn't worth it anymore.
When you're in a group scene and the whole band's fucking, you didn't ever accidentally fuck one of the other guys in Metallica. But, you know, I mean, you could slip.
You were very high.
Listen, there were times when the lights were off.
Maybe that's why James is so angry.
Who knew what orifice we were getting into at the time? But we were doing our best to not fuck each other. But we certainly would chase after a lot of the same girls, and there was a lot of hand-me-downs and so on at the time.
Was it a wild scene? I mean, would it be like you would date James's girlfriend and he'd date or there'd be drama like that with the women?
I don't know if the word dating was applicable.
Right.
But it was crazy. And you know, the thing that was different about you know, our thing versus a lot of our peers was that, you know, I don't need to mention names, but a lot of the other bands were very public about their
conquest.
About their behavior and their debauchery. We kind of kept it very quiet. So we were still engaged, but it was more kind of low profile, and that was pretty cool. But we had a lot of fun for a lot of years, and I'm so glad that we did it. But
what is the fun? What is the fun? Yes, drugs.
Women.
The women thing. What? Take me into that room when. What is it? You get done with the show, and then women are just there. They're lined up. Who lines up these women? How does it work?
How do they get back?
Lars, take me there. How does the whole system work in a nutshell?
Well, first you gotta first you gotta hire English crew people. English road managers and English minders have a different relationship. It just starts off that when you have an English tour manager talk English to, you know, a girl in you know, Omaha, Nebraska. Oh my God, the accent! So they're already one step ahead just because they have English accents.
Right.
And then they sort of you know, get them into what's called the after show room.
Right.
And then the band members would go into the after show room, and there would be, you know, all the, you know,
would a lot of women show up at a Metallica concert? I always thought it was most
women showed up.
It's mostly guys.
Every woman who came in.
Because metal guys, like one of the guys who works for me, Richard's a really good drummer, and he was in metal bands. He's been in Death and all these other bands, and he'd say it was all guys. He never got laid once when he went to these metal shows.
The cup, what is it? The cup runneth over. We were fine.
We were fine.
We had
were there hundreds of women, thousands of women?
There were probably thousands in the audience. There were, I don't know if there were hundreds backstage, but
could you walk backstage?
There was never a shortage.
Could you walk backstage after a show and a woman just puts her mouth on your penis and blows you like you don't even know her name, you don't know anything, and then boom, it just happens?
That may be slightly exaggerated, but there were times where there were never words exchanged. Sure.
Wow.
You're a father now, right?
But I'm telling you, it you know, when you talk about the 80s, and let's just make sure that we're talking about, you know, sort of the 80s, the early 90s, there was one magical element to all this, which you can't forget, which is the tour bus. You know, at that time, you know, tour buses were like magnets. You know, when tour buses rolled into towns, I mean, people would just start chasing after, you know, you roll into the gig, you know, no, it's just, I mean, I remember, like in Salt Lake City, I mean, you'd roll in and you know, just girls would like run after the tour bus. People just, they were
girls considered a badge of honor to get into the tour bus.
Absolutely, yes, and into the back lounge of the tour bus. That was as close to rock and roll heaven as you could get. Was the back lounge of a tour bus.
Would you be discerning? In other words, you get back in the bus and there's a whole bunch of women back there, and let's say there's, I don't know, a fat chick or something. Would you let her blow you just to be a nice guy about it, and say, you know, I don't want to hurt your feelings? So would you do that, or would you actually pick one that you were attracted to? Was there any kind of...
There may have been a little bit of that, sure.
A little bit.
You know, we're a full-service organization, sure.
You really took care of your fans.
If your dream is to spend 5 minutes with one of the members, yeah, we can accommodate that.
Would the people in your crew, as you got more and more success, would they say to you, "Hey, listen, Metallica"?
The crew were always they were the gateway, sure.
Right. Would they ever say, "Hey, listen, let us in the back of the bus too there and let us have some fun"? Why are you guys always having all the fun?
Well, the crew would have all the fun till the band would show up, and the crew would, you would have these. And I'm not saying anything that I haven't said 100 times before, and I'm not saying anything that I'm sure you haven't heard before. But within that world, it was the pass system.
Yeah.
So you could always identify there were different passes that went to different people. So there were codes written on the passes. So when you saw a girl at 6 o'clock, or if you saw a girl at 11 o'clock after the show, you could quickly just look at the pass, and there would be codes on there to see, was this a crew girl? Was this somebody that was there just for the band? I mean, that whole thing was very well taken care of.
You have to know,
organized.
You have to know a lot more than drumming to be in a band.
You gotta remember the code.
Oh yeah, and that's where these English tour managers and English minders would come in handy.
Because you were a shy kid kind of growing up. You were sort of, as you described, a little bit antisocial. Did you get laid a lot in high school, or when the band hit, that's when it started to all happen?
I didn't get laid till the band started.
The band was the catalyst.
Yes, no,
You were a virgin?
Hand on heart, yeah.
Wow.
I ran off with one of Dave Mustaine's girlfriends. That was the.
Was that your first?
That was the first.
That's how you lost your virginity.
Yes.
You lost your virginity. You stole Dave Mustaine's girlfriend.
I don't know if the word "stole" is applicable, but it was. Dave Mustaine was a very, very cool guy. He looked fantastic. He was very socially competent. He was like king shit in Huntington Beach, and he had a whole circle of people around him. And there was a lot of I got to court 3 or 4.
Right. He was on court 1.
I didn't make it all the way up to court 1.
Too bad there was a Nick Bollettieri girls' school.
Exactly.
So Dave was the man. Do in bands, when you fuck a guy's girlfriend, there isn't the drama that we see in real life. In other words, Dave probably didn't care, did he?
Oh, no, he was on to the next one, as Dave Grohl would say.
So he didn't come to you and say, "Hey, Lars, what are you doing? That's one of my prime girls." No, it was nothing like that. Do you go and tell him you fucked his girlfriend?
There may be a chance. This is the first time I've ever spoken about this publicly.
Maybe a chance he has no idea. So you kept it on.
Now we have a topic of conversation when I see him tomorrow.
You kept it on the QT.
Yes.
At what point, though, do you meet James? So you're the tennis guy. We missed this part of the story. You're this tennis guy. And suddenly, you kind of, I'm going to devote my life to music. How do you meet up with
There was a paper that you would get, a freebie paper you'd get at 7-Eleven called The Recycler. Cars for sale and all this type of shit. And there was a musicians wanted section in that. So I put an ad in The Recycler saying, drummer looking for other musicians to form a band with. And he called.
Called you, this shy guy.
Well, actually, his friend called, and me and him and his friend met up, and I didn't get along terribly well with his friend, but I saw that this James guy, he was kind of responding to the same music that I was into.
So you have a conversation first. Hey, I'm into this, I'm into that. If you start saying, hey, I'm into the 𝗏𝗄𝗿𝗍, you don't have a match. And so this guy musically understood. He was doing the same thing. He was into the 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍. So this guy, why is that funny to you?
That's just funny. I don't know if
I ran an ad for a guy who's into the 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍. That's why I'm not in the band.
That's why you're here.
No, I'm tripping on the conversation. I mean, at that point, you just have to remember, like what I said before. I mean, James was so painfully shy that I don't think the word conversation is not applicable. It was more like, just utterings, like one word, like grunts. One word grunts. But I could tell right away, instinctively, I could tell that this guy, there was a vibe with him, and I really connected with him and could tell that he was kind of into the same shit that I was.
Years later, when things got really bad, did you ever think of running the same ad to see if you could get somebody new to start a band with? So where do you meet the first time? Do you go to a club or something? Where do you go to meet James?
It was down in Newport Beach at my house, actually.
At your house. He shows up, and this degenerate shows up who's shy and scary looking.
And he was with this other guy named Hugh Tanner. Yes.
Right. Did you start to think maybe this was a bad idea, inviting people into my home? I mean, he's a scary guy, isn't he?
I was 16, full of spunk, was green and ready to go. I didn't think like that. You got to understand.
And you're living with your parents, right?
Yeah.
And you're inviting strangers into the house to an ad.
Dude, I came from a year earlier. I was traveling around on public transportation systems in Denmark, going to like Deep Purple and Status Quo concerts by myself. Inviting somebody into my house didn't really seem like a.
Did your dad ever say, "Hey, listen, I don't know who that guy's name is," referring to James, and say, "Listen, that's a scary motherfucker. Looks like some sort of biker. I mean, what are you inviting him into my home for? Let's go smoke fix him. We didn't talk about this, son.
He said more like, why don't you invite him to come sit down and have dinner with us, and we'll pat him on the back a little bit and make him feel better.
Yeah, the homeless mutt. So in fact, James and you have this meeting. When does he sit down with a guitar and you get on a drum kit and you start to see if this guy's even any good? And he checks you out. When does that happen?
That happened, I think, the same day. Yeah, we started playing right away. And, you know, I had a really shitty drum kit at the time that the story that he keeps telling is every time I hit a cymbal, the cymbal stand would fall over. So.
Not a good impression.
Yeah. So, you know, but he was... You could tell he was gifted, and my drums were just fucking a complete mess, and we walked away from that meeting not feeling particularly a lot of love from each other. But
really, no handshake, like, hey, this is it moment.
No. I went back to Europe for 6 months and did a whole bunch of stuff. When I came back to America, I called James up again 6 months later. I said, let's try again. Let's form a band, and he came over and we formed a band, and that was in October of '81.
Interesting.
Years ago.
It's like the relationship hasn't changed in all these years. It was pretty much the same as I don't know what's going on. So there was never, even as years went by, there was never a great conversation. I was talking about this about Fred. I've known Fred 30 years. I think I've said 5 words to him. There was never a great sort of sit down between you and James where you sat and like had your moment, your bro moment and bromance moment. You guys don't really communicate on that level. It's all about the music.
I mean, that's greatly exaggerated. We had.
Would you know James's favorite TV show?
He grew up on all these American television shows that I had no idea what were, but we had a lot of fun over the years. You know, the hardest thing about me and James was whenever there were other people around, we always got weird with each other because we were always fighting for pole position. When me and him were together alone, we got on fabulously and had a great time and would go get in trouble and had all sorts of fun. But the minute we were part of a bigger thing, it got kind of weird because it was always a lot of chest beating and who was cooler and who had
Did you really think
and all that
Did you ever think Metallica was going to be a huge band? Did you? I mean, you guys ended up selling 60-something million albums, and you made more. How many albums have you sold? I don't even know the number.
100 million? North of 100, yeah.
North of 100 million. I mean, did you ever... Because you guys, when you started, it was like fringe kind of music. I mean, it wasn't mainstream music. Probably
Some
people...
say it still is.
But didn't record companies say to you, listen, boys, if you want to have a career, you better fucking get a little bit more commercial, true?
No, because we came up through the independent. You know, there was a wonderful guy out in New Jersey called Johnny Zazula who ran an independent label out there called Megaforce Records, and he was the one that gave us a record deal, so we were never part of that whole machinery type of thing. Then when we recorded our second album, Ride the Lightning, and the bigger record companies came sniffing, they knew that the only way that we would do this would be on our own terms. So we've never, ever, ever, fucking ever had anybody from the record company or anybody sitting in the studio or doing anything with us at that level.
When the money starts to roll in, and now, like you say, you go off and buy a house, and you get into art collecting, and James is doing his thing, that's what ruins things, right? Because really...
That's what can ruin things.
It can ruin it. Yeah. It can make it crazy. Because, you know
that's when the gang mentality stops. That's when all of a sudden one guy moves over there and one guy moves over there, and then you start traveling different, and then you get sort of, one guy gets a pretty serious girlfriend in between albums, and all of a sudden you stop, palling around together because he'd rather be with his girlfriend, and that's
There's no longer us against them. It's him and his girlfriend against the world.
Exactly. That's the type of stuff that happens. And listen, when you're fucking 30 years into it, I mean, you can sit and talk to whoever else has been around, like the Aerosmith guys or the 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄 guys or U2 or whatever. I mean, when you've been around for 30 years, obviously you're going to have your ups and downs. I think the fact that we're still here 30 years later, we're playing Yankee Stadium tomorrow.
My theory is you need one rational person in the band. You know what I mean?
Where are they going to find those? Here's the scary part.
You're the rational one.
If I'm the rational one, fucking God help us all.
But you are the one. You are the one who's willing to sort of compromise, right?
That's the word on the street, is that I'm the one that is the rational one. Listen, when you're in a collective, when you're in when you're in a group, you always have to there has to be a give and take element to this, and you have to learn when to pick your battles, and you have to kind of function within a group setup. And I think that's why a lot of the bands that we came up with in the 80s and 90s, who were not only our peers but were friends of ours and who we loved and respected, just couldn't keep it together. You know who I'm talking about. And they just, because one guy went missing for a week, or one guy, we never had those issues where we always prioritized the group and made it happen somehow.
First time you and James get together, you jam. 6 months later, you call him and you say, hey, or he calls you, let's get the band together, blah, blah, let's get a band together. Then you find the other guys. The first gig you do, Is it a disaster?
Yes, absolutely. Radio City March, Radio City in Anaheim, California, not the Radio City.
That's your first gig?
Across
It's
the street.
not our radio.
Oh, Radio City.
Radio
Oh,
City,
right.
Radio City, Anaheim, California. A Sunday night, March 1982. There was probably about 100 people there.
Are the 100 people your friends, or are they?
They were all. Remember what I said about Dave Mustaine?
Yeah.
They were all Dave Mustaine's friends. we had no friends. It was all the Dave Mustaine fan club, and so we're playing the first song, which was "Hit the Lights," and halfway through "Hit the Lights." I've been on stage at this time 3 minutes in my life. Dave Mustaine breaks a string on his guitar, and of course at that time there's no backup guitars and there are no roadies. So Dave Mustaine, after the first song, you could hear a fucking pin drop in there, right? So Dave Mustaine has to go through the process of changing his own guitar string, and that took. I'd say 5 minutes at least. I'm sitting up there trying to hide behind the fucking drums. James doesn't know what to say. It was
because
just
James doesn't exactly have patter he can give, right?
No, James was the singer, but the first year in Metallica, Dave Mustaine used to do all the communicating with. He used to do all the stage management because James was so painfully shy. It wasn't until we came to Europe. About a year later, 83, 84, that the European crowds were so receptive to what we were doing that James actually got the balls to start communicating with the audience. It was all Mustaine the first couple of years.
Isn't it amazing that a shy guy, that somewhere in him, he got the balls up to go on stage? It's a pretty weird thing, right? And probably when he first started talking from the stage, he's probably grunting like Frankenstein, like angry and all this stuff. Are you excited about the gig at Yankee Stadium? Is that still a big deal for you, or are you just jaded at this point?
No, fuck no. We played one of these so-called Big Four shows out in 𝗛𝗄𝗍𝗿 in March, with our friends in Anthrax, Slayer, Megadeth, and so it was, it sold out in 5 minutes, and we wanted to do